shit! You just busted a nut!
Why is this old one playing? Is that in the stream? I actually have no idea. Let me see.
Oh shit!
Why is this playing repeatedly? I'm so confused. I got old freaking donations for some reason and just keep going. I don't know if it's gonna go through the stream or not, but it should be. Anyway, how's it going? I think it's good now? No, why is it? Oh my god.
You just busted a nut.
Hang on. How do I stop this? For some reason, a bunch of my old donations are repeating, and I don't know why. Let me pause the old mini feed. There we go. Unpause alert queue. I'll do that. And if it shows up in the normal stream, I'll just acknowledge it. I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, how's it going with you guys today? What's going on? Izzy, I almost said Illy. Izzy Kaminari, how's it going? How's it going, Jared Punch? How are you? Lewis Jr., how's it going? Hassan Mohammed, how are you guys doing today? Nice Saturday stream. I actually am prepared this time. I got my my tweet prepared so I can just send that out and not get distracted and end up doing it 10 minutes into the stream or end up starting the stream late because I realized that I didn't have it prepped. I got it ready. I just gotta send. Actually, no. I literally just did it. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. I sent that out. Now I just gotta put it in. Put it through Sammy's Discord and in his old stream tab, and bam! Now we're good to start the stream up, get going, hanging out, and do the normal stream chat. Anyway, how are you guys all doing today? We got manga, obviously tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got. I don't know, another week until another Fairy Tail chapter. But I'm still happy that we got Suzaku this week. Obviously, like, it was in the Tuesday stream. I mean, I had additional stream Tuesday. Because of that, I've got him on this this screen as well for today. Clearly, I'm very happy and I'm still very pleased that I was able to pull that last moment prediction out when I was doing the the outro for chapter 76. I was very happy about that still. But yeah, let me get some more of the comments. Do I have a sister? I do not have a sister. Yeah, still going. Yeah, I had to pause it. I don't know why I was doing that. I must have clicked something. I have no idea what I clicked. Because, legitimately, I thought when the first one came out, like, Kimano somehow got in the stream, like, before I even clicked it and donated. I was so confused. But that wasn't the case, and then it was, like, continuously going, and then I actually read what the comments were, and I was like, I don't know why I'm getting these notifications. But they are, as now, just weird repeats. So, I'll try and unpause it. I don't know if it's still going to do it. Yeah, I unpaused it and did it again.
You just busted a nut.
I'm gonna leave it paused, and I'll just do it through the normal super chat window if anybody decides to donate $1 or however much they want to give me. If they think I've earned their, is it patronage? I think that's the right word. I don't know. Either way, Even Zero animation so far, Sprat's Fairy Tail. Oh yeah, well, that's because, like, when did the Fairy Tail anime first came out? Wasn't that, like, 2010? Let me see. It was a while when the anime first came out. It might have been 2009. Yeah, 2009. And then the reversion one that they did, a couple years ago with that for Alvarez, it had its moments, but like you can tell it wasn't as heavily in. Now, granted, I haven't watched the whole season since like its initial airing. I don't know if they juiced it up with Blu-rays and stuff. So that's a completely different story. Either way, I would just hope that when it comes to 100 Years Quest, if it does get into anime, that they're able to give it a lot more beefy animation. Because like animation has come a long way in the last 10 years. A long way. And then when you look at like how much like they're able to juice stuff up now, and especially it better be seasonal. That would be my biggest thing when it comes to 100 Years Quest anime, is I would want it to be seasonal. I would be so annoyed if it was weekly. I don't know how they would manage to make it weekly, given that 100 Years Quest is bi-weekly and we're not even that far in the arc we're not like that deep in reality. We're like 77 chapters in. But we've only really gone through 2 Dragon Gods, and so far, at least, each arc has been a good chunk longer than the previous one. And we have other stuff like Rebellious, Decom, and Diablos, and all that, we've still got a good amount of material available, and then who knows what else Mishima can do. Because I personally think LF Saria is super sus. Look at some of these comments. Ziggy's voice actor is the same as Jiraiya and Zigbar. I didn't know about Zigbar, but I knew about Jiraiya's. He sounds good. I actually really liked how they gave him that robotic extra tone to his voice in the trailer. I'm going to really like that for the anime, because that was something I actually didn't really think too much about when it came to the voice acting for Ziggy. Obviously, he is a robot, but I just assumed it would be more of kind of like Wall, because Wall was a machine. But obviously, he's way more of like a... Would it be an android, because he's way more human-like? But you know what I mean. He sounded pretty normal. He had some parts where in the anime they gave him like that. They gave him some of that like robotic tone to it, but like Ziggy's is much more in there, and I do like that a lot. I've been pretty stoked about that aspect of just what they've done. So hyped. I mean, I'm hyped in general. Hyped in general of when they're gonna get this going. It's April 12th or April 10th rather. So less than a month away, and we're gonna get to it. Think it's going back to weekly anytime soon? That would entirely depend on the guys on it. It would entirely depend on Ueda and his team. The thing is Mishima is way more used to obviously like a weekly status. I mean, he does Eden Zero and he still writes for 100 Years Quest and stuff. But not all mangaka can catch up with a weekly. Like, it's a very demanding job from like the schedules I've seen and stuff. And with, I mean, like when you look at some of these other guys, like, you look at like Oda or Horikoshi or Tabata, like they take breaks, and then sometimes with you can see it sometimes with like Tabata and Horikoshi, they'll have like parts where, very rarely, but sometimes they'll have like panels not finished. They just didn't meet the deadline. But Mishima is somebody who has never really somehow fallen into that problem. He's like a speed drawer, like he's very fast, and he said he got way faster when he switched to digital. So that'll entirely depend on Ueda. Maybe Mishima will help him, help him get faster and faster and better. But it entirely depends up to his team. They could. I'd be really happy about it. If they got to weekly, they would have to get still way far ahead, way further ahead before they could do a weekly 100 Years Quest anime. And I don't want them to. I would want it to be weekly, or sorry, seasonal. I don't want it to be weekly. I would love it to be seasonal. Get the animation nice and crisp. You do like a Dragon God arc a year and just continuously keep it looking good. And whew, that would just make my year getting like a solid seasonal 100 Years Quest anime. Especially like, I really liked when they made Natsu's Fire red in the anime. And I would hope that they are like able to keep that like dark red spooky color like that's mixed in with his Aetherius flames when he gets that form against Mercephobia. Ziggy VA isn't what I thought it would be sound like. I like it though. I think it sounds good. Yeah, 2009. Like Fairy Tail's like anime obviously started a while back, and it's like somewhere around like the mid 2010s where like there were a lot of big jumps in animation quality, like all over the place. And like Fairy Tail has its moments, and like even like the movies especially, like the movies look good. It's just like with with Alvarez, some of the parts didn't look as crisp, but I would really hope for a seasonal 100 Years Quest anime. I think as long as they didn't somehow Seven Deadly Sins mess it up, and not all Seven Deadly Sins episodes, but like you know the ones I'm talking about. And I know even Seven Deadly Sins fans look at those episodes and just it's a pain for them. I would imagine. I can fully sympathize with them of the horribleness of having that Esquenor Meliodas fight look as poorly as it did. I'm very told when Team Natsu fights Celine minions when Lucy fights her matchup, do you think she'll have a good type power up? I'm hoping that with Yoko having a ton of yokai, clearly like they're not all going to be strong. You can get a handful of them that are actually powerful, but for the most part I would assume that a lot of them are going to be not that much of a problem for like the main team. Like we saw like Natsu go up against a couple yokai before he ran into Snake Lucy, and he was just bodying the hell out of them. So a lot of them are going to be fodder, and I would hope that they're used for like the characters to kind of pretty much run into whatever their advanced magic is, and then Yoko will probably like pick up and start putting in the work at that point, start busting out her bigger yokai. And I personally think that she can merge with her yokai, like use their power, like what she was doing to the main cast and stuff. Elsie Urza's voice actress reprised the role like Happy. I'm alright with that. Like, the thing is, I don't mind that whole thing. The thing about it that was annoying to me is that we all knew that we're gonna see the people that just try to compare them and say like they're the same character, despite like, hey, you should probably see what the character's actually like in both personality, backstory, story role, how they fight, their powers and stuff. Like, literally everything outside of just their general appearance. And what's weird is, they did keep in mind, like, her hair is a different shade of red. She has different colored eyes, and, you know, she's got the sick eye patch and stuff. But, like, they only want to focus on the one or two things, and it's annoying, especially when Mishima does it intentionally. There's a couple characters that carry over. Anyone who's got that eye mark is, like, a continuous character throughout his series. They just have different variations of them. It's like, Elsie is similar to Urza at her core, like the core aspects of her, kind of like how Nightwalker was, but everything else, like, she's not really the same thing. Like, Elsie and Urza wouldn't like each other. Urza and Elsie, I think, would like each other only on the aspect of how they treat their allies, like how Elsie treats people in her crew very well, like family and stuff. Urza would like that, but obviously space, criminal, pirate, like, she wouldn't like that at all. Like, Urza is legitimately like somebody who's always like trying to do the right thing and fight for justice and stuff, and then Elsie is a space criminal pirate lady. Like, she's one of the most wanted criminals across the 7 cosmic seas and stuff. Who else disappointed Ziggy's red cape? You don't like his cape being red? What color did you think it would be? And that's just his cape. I think it looks good. I really like the black, gold, and red. I think it looks cool. Yeah, Zigbar from Kingdom Hearts. I know about who Zigbar is. Moore's voice actress is a trans, non-binary male, if they said so themselves. I mean, I don't care about that. I just hope that I hope said individual just does a good job at Homura. I don't know anything about, like, the voice individual? Voice person. I don't know anything about them on a personal level. I don't really care. Like, there are very few, people behind the voices that I actually, like, put attention into. I mean, it's not, like, they're just playing the character. I'm not going for them. Some of them I might know if I really like how their performance, then sure, I could be a fan of them in other roles. Like, so far, one that I have liked that I need to look at his name, just because, like, he's a guy that I'll be happy when I see him in any role, because he's been doing a good job. Is the guy who's voicing Dante in Black Clover. That dude's doing a great job. He plays that role for Dante so well, and he just juices up, like, the character in performance. Because I really like Dante in how, like I said, his performance. I really like his personality, and then, like, how Tabata's been constructing him. Like, he's a character that it doesn't, like, he does better when he starts getting pushed into a corner, just because of how, like, him being legitimately just down bad ends up getting him more motivated. And that's, like, his maniacal laughter and his sudden jumps in enthusiasm in the way he talks. I really like that about him. He's a very interesting bad guy. Who's a better antagonist, Shigaraki or Garo? I'm not caught up on One Punch Man. Like, where I left off on One Punch Man, like, initially, was shortly after the fight with Boros. That's where it was in the manga when I was reading it. And then just anybody who reads One Punch Man's manga knows how unpredictable the release schedule was for a long time. I think it's better now. I have no idea, but it was all over the place for a good long while. So I just got way behind. I'm gonna get caught up with it eventually. It's a little difficult just because I really like Mashle, and Mashle is similar to One Punch Man in concept, but I like Mashle more. Rax Asta versus Natsu. Natsu would put Asta in the dirt so bad. The thing is, like, I've talked about this a lot. I already read the one about this. Wait, Wise sounds like smoked 2 packs a day since age of 2. He's a criminal. Well, not a criminal. He's like a street thug. So it makes sense giving him, like, a rougher voice. But, like, with Natsu and Asta, the thing is, Natsu literally outclasses Asta at pretty much every, like, combat stat and experience, and just, like, the way that he fights. And on top of that, like, Natsu has experience fighting weapons people. Natsu has experience fighting people with anti-magic. And Asta's weakness in fighting are people that are better than him at close combat. Like, we've known that. Like, Vetto went over that. We saw that with Dante. Like, that is Asta's weakness when it comes to, like, when he's fighting somebody. So, like, Natsu would put him in the dirt. And I know some people be like, well, the anti-magic that Natsu fight is the same. That doesn't matter, because, like, Natsu will assume it's the same thing, or at least somewhat similar enough to know, don't let it hit you. Like, Natsu isn't, like, the smartest guy, but he's smart in combat, and he's got so much experience with so many different fighters and abilities, and he remembers them. Like, he's not that dumb. He's more of, like, Naruto in intelligence. Like, he's not a smart guy, but he's not, like, Goku Luffy stupid. Very dirty foot Netflix. Oh, Rax the villain. I got an enemy. But, very dirty Netflix, but Eden's in jail. There won't be much hype for the anime since. Oh, I mean, people are gonna, you know, people are gonna pirate it and stuff. You know that. Plus, a lot of people have Netflix anyway. I'm gonna reactivate my Netflix shortly before Eden Zero comes out, because I'm gonna watch it. Obviously, I'll probably review the first couple episodes, and then because it's more going to be talking about, like, the animation and stuff, and like, how the scenes differ from the manga to the anime. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole season. I might. Depends. If people want me to do the whole season, then I probably will. Just because... Oh, hiccup there. Just because I don't do a lot of anime, and obviously, like, an Eden Zero is one that's clearly very core to my channel. I mean, I don't do Black Clover, but I mean, like, it'll be, you know, it's a little bit different when something just comes out. You know, we want to be hyping it up, getting people into it, you know, get people on the train. Dude, ridiculous. Asta has no chance. Yeah, and Asta has no chance against Natsu. What's up, Guild Zero? How's it going? Oh, also, I remembered, because I saw Jason here, is I'm gonna post a link to the Discord. It's my Discord for, you know, the people that show up for the streams on my channel, as well as other anime YouTuber, manga YouTubers that are adjacent to me, I talk to and interact with. So, if you want to join, I'm going to post a link. I know there's going to be some people already in there, but if you're not and you feel like it, you know, come on by. And just because I'm already in, like, advertisement mode, I really appreciate it. I'm obviously really appreciate 31 people in here, doing good. And if you would thumbs up the stream, subscribe if you haven't, and if you feel like donating any money to me, even $1 would be really appreciated. You don't have to. It's like, to me, any donations are more like a tip. You know, it's kind of just like, yeah, I appreciate whatever, helping me waste time doing chores. You know, like, my assumption for what a lot of people are doing listening to my streams is they put me on their phone, like, you know, pull up the YouTube app, put me on their phone, set it on, like, a shelf, and are cleaning their room, doing chores, picking stuff up, folding laundry, doing something just to pass the time. Anyway, did I watch the new Eden Zero trailer? I did. I liked it. I was really happy with the visuals, because one thing that Mishima has talked about that I very firmly agree with him is when it comes to a space series, you're not going to get the same level of visual, the same level of, like, visual excellence in a black and white manga. And especially, like, when he talks about, like, Shiki's style of movement when he fights, obviously with manipulating gravity, that it's not going to look as fluid in the manga. Whereas, like, that's one of the key things about Shiki is how he moves. He's a very agile person because he can just move in any direction at any point in time. And all terrain is literally a platform for him to stand on. Like, there's no... you know, that's a wall. It's like, no, that's just a sideways floor to him. Okay, Rex is villain, but Natsu will put up a fight. No, I mean, did he say something? I bet Asta can beat Natsu if they fight in a moving car. I mean, that's his weakness, though. That's like saying that, like, Asta, like, somebody could beat Asta if they took away his anti-magic, gave him gave him a sword, and, like, put him in his no-arm state, and then also had him try and do, like, a math test while he's doing it, or solve a puzzle. That's like a straight weakness. Be like, hey, Deku can beat Luffy if they fight underwater. Yeah, of course. Like, if you put Asta against Natsu and they're fighting on top of a boat or something, where Natsu's literally just going to be on the ground, like, it's sick, can barely conjure up any of his magic, of course then. What do you expect Suzaku's Dragon Slayer attribute to be? See, the thing is, like, that's one of the big questions about his character. Because he's the Red Dragon Slayer. And I don't think that Mishima's going to go with just fire. Because that would be too plain. I mean, like, I'm not opposed to it if he can make it really, really cool in just the way that it's implemented. But I don't think it will. I'm hoping for blood. Blood is what I want. I wanted Blood Dragon Slayer. And anything would be really cool if he did blood and then had, like, some form of regeneration or super healing factor in, like, the idea of the Phoenix, which is, you know, what Suzaku's namesake and aspects about his design obviously refer to. You know, he's got the big feathery earrings. He's got the very thick, he's got the eyelashes, but it's like the sides. I don't know if those would still be eyelashes, but you know what I mean? And on top of that, like, he's got the bird-like pattern on his clothing and stuff. So that is my hope. I'm really hoping for blood. I would love a Blood Dragon Slayer. That's one of the ones that I've had as, like, my wish list for Dragon Slayers in Fairy Tail. Like, blood, like, some of the crazier powers, like blood, plasma, radiation. When it comes to the Dragon Eaters, all of their attributes have been very weird. Like, when you look at all the types before him, like, you know, going back to before 100 Years Quest, for the most part, you know, you had pretty much normal elements and stuff. You didn't have anything really that crazy. And then we got blade, armor, corpse, like, spirit, sticky, freaking red. Like, who knows what else there is. I assume when it comes to the Dragon Eaters, none of them are just going to have a plain element. It's always going to be something really weird. When I imagine Ziggy's voice, I imagine a charismatic, deep-toned voice, not an old man in a retirement home. Yeah, but the thing is, he's an old man. Like, Shiki calls him his grandpa. I like it. I think it's cool. Like, he sounds like this old, experienced, freaking spooky, you know, machine emperor guy. I think that fits him really well. I like it a lot. I'll probably make Osteo full power. I mean, yeah, it's Natsu versus Mash? What is Mash gonna do to Natsu? Mash is going to get put in the dirt. Are you forgetting that Natsu in base form casually went and clapped a freaking war deity that was like 2 miles tall and whose like normal swings like were cutting mountains down? Yeah, Natsu stomps. Natsu couldn't even force himself to stand up and protect Wendy when Ajo was going to kill them on the ship. But that's his weakness. If you're saying to put him directly in their weakness, like I said, that's like saying Deku can beat Luffy if Luffy is underwater. It's like, yeah, if you literally put the character in a state where they're crippled by their weakness, or like, hey, I can beat Superman if Superman is wearing a kryptonite tuxedo. It's just like, okay. Let's see. What's up, Givaldo Anderson? How's it going, man? Speaks volumes that Black Clover recently had fan animators help with Dante. But I was very happy about that. Like that's really big for them. Like they're getting now into the industry, and they're going to be able to start branching out. I would assume start getting another series, and as well as it's really good for anime in general, because it means that they can look for more animators for series. Like they can pretty much, like if you have say that they want to get like X amount of like just general people on like an anime. It's not just restricted to like a couple studios. They can bring in people from, you know, all over to, you know, animated scene. They've got way more access with like how far animation itself has gotten, how far anime has spread out with like the level of fans, and obviously how well they can contact and communicate with people on the internet and whatnot. Rex, what do you think of Full Eden Zero trailer? I liked it. I said I liked it. Awesome art. Yeah, it's good. Urza fights for justice, you say? No wonder Elsie would hate her. Yeah, they don't. I get the joke, but I mean, like, legitimately, Elsie and Urza would not get along. Hirax or Black Clover anime and manga very different. I've been watching the anime, but I was wondering about the manga. The only thing that's really different is sometimes the anime will add in, like, a little extra content, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. Like, they're pretty much, like, spot on. Like, Black Clover doesn't have a lot of anime exclusive like filler episodes, like outside of like the stuff like between going to the Heart Kingdom and like the start of the Spade, like all that anime exclusive stuff. But for the most part, they don't do a lot of like additional like stuff like all bundled in. Like I remember like just like not early Naruto, but like I mean even really like early Naruto, because it'd be before Sasuke leaves. Like think of like before Shippuden, how much of Naruto is anime exclusive? That's like hundreds. I think it's like, because I think it's like 150 episodes or something. I think it's over half of the anime, like, is just filler. It's really weird to think about, like, way back when. I remember when I found that out, I was like so astonished. Because I watched the Naruto anime, obviously, like, long before I read the manga. And so I didn't know any of that. I just assumed that was part of the story. We get some ridiculous people here today. Hopefully people come by and hang out. Rex Villain, you have to agree that Urza would defeat Nokul to Uphold? I don't know what you just said, man. Oh, Noel? Oh, I mean, of course. Like, that's not a fight. That would be that'd be such a quick smash. Like, Noel wouldn't know what was going on. I wish I had shown the Eden Zero, the Guild, a few Shining Stars, part of Shiki versus Elsie. I can't show too much. What's up, Malky? How's it going? How are you guys doing today? Ricky Akoma has been in many roles of older anime like Bleach and Naruto, etc. I don't know who that is, but are they going to be in Eden Zero? I'd have to look and see what they are. Noel would clap Romeo. I mean, yeah, sure, Romeo. Romeo has, like... Honestly, I don't think... Does Romeo have any feats whatsoever? The only thing that I've ever seen, really, about Romeo is in the novel where it's, like... I don't know the context, because I know the novel... Like, the novel is only... I think it's only translated online, and I've mentioned before, novel... Like, trying to read a fan-translated novel, it's just like you're reading a giant wall of text. I wouldn't mind as much if it was, like, you know, an actual official volume translated for the novel. But I know that he's, like, that Romeo is shown much older in that one. But, I think he's stronger in that one. I think he has, like, he beats, like, a bad guy in the novel. I remember seeing a panel of one of the pages. But other than that, like, I don't really see what Romeo would do. Like, Romeo versus Nash is actually the fight I wanted to bring up. Just because you have these two... like younger brotherish characters, the main characters who both use fire magic, and then just both are probably never gonna do much. Like the only way I can see either of them ever getting anywhere is if there's like a big time skip and like both of them are like in their like mid to late teens, kind of like Konohamaru. Yeah, I don't know what people are talking about there. Like Noel would have a horrible time fighting Urza. Urza has so much that Noelle would have a bad time with. Just like, not even talking about stats, but I mean, she has her Sea Empress armor. She's got Nakagami armor. Like, Noelle would have no idea how to counter it. She'd be essentially fighting a much more experienced swordsmaster with Asta's anti-magic. Because Nakagami is just like, she just has to get a slash in. Bam, magic dispelled, no Valkyrie dress. And then she just puts her in the dirt. I mean, you gotta wait for Javal, though. They can't, unfortunately, I get why they wouldn't show that much in the anime, but I mean, obviously people want to see it, but you gotta wait. What's up, Pokesel? How's it going? I saw your Asta hate earlier today. Disagree with it. One for All can no longer be transferred, and Medora. Hiccup. I actually haven't read the fan translation for My Hero. I didn't know that. I mean, I guess that now that I've read it, that's probably a bit of a spoiler for the people in the chat, but not that much. Like I looked at some of the spoiler stuff, but I didn't read that part. That's really interesting. Fairy Tail is for a strong universe in Black Clover, but not saying at least a few people can beat Fairy Tail characters. Oh well, yeah. Well, there's always going to be stronger verses. That's one of the things that's always really funny to me. It's like when you debate somebody and you just have like say like. They try and debate two verses, and one is way stronger than the other, but they don't think that, and then you're trying to explain it to them, and they're like, oh, so this character just beats every character ever, and it's like, no, I'm just saying that this verse is stronger than this other verse. I don't know how, like, I've had that argument before, and it's just like, I don't know where the pedestal of this series sits for you, but I can guarantee you it's not going to be the strongest series out there. Like, I know I've had that argument with, like One Piece fans and stuff, and I'm like, you know, like there's tons of verses that can take them both at the same time. I'm like, look at like Marvel and DC and like a lot of comic stuff, and they get really crazy with like way meta level stuff and characters existing outside of like the series and like just generally unfair things that you would have to end up like essentially writing your own broken just to be broken at such a degree, only to have them fight one of these other ones. Not to eat human? Wait, for human? What do you mean? Can he eat human? I don't even know what that means. Like, eat people? No. What is this? No. Sinbad? No. Asta would have absolutely zero chance against Natsu. Like, Natsu went up against a guy who had an anti-magic bubble that it would hurt you if you touched it because it would hurt the magic in your body. It would essentially become a giant, painful, negative magnet repelling you out. And he figured a way around that in like a couple seconds. You really think that he's going to have trouble fighting a sword guy that has... Though I like Asta, it's not like Asta has a lot of techniques with his swordsmanship and his anti-magic abilities, at least as of right now. That would be that complicated. Like, he's mostly just, you know, he's got his general stats, and he's got, like, black slash and stuff, and he doesn't have much of, like, crazy out there techniques. It's more of just, like, how you're seeing his general style evolve, rather than, like, whereas developed Spirit Storm and then has something like his monozone Spirit Storm where he can just shoot it right from any direction at you. And then, when you get to like more broken characters, that's like where you would have to kind of like start aiming as like just outright broken abilities and techniques that would be unfair for a character to even go up against in that case. But it's like Natsu would have no problem fighting Asta. Like, he would see anti-magic sword, don't get hit by it. And then he would just dance around him and start like dodging every move and just start laying hands on him. I don't know what you're talking about, Phil Jones, about Gray. Which Gray? Doesn't Asta fight better against higher mana levels? No, not really. I mean, like, how did he do against Dante? Would I debate Seth? I don't think so. I've seen some of his videos. I don't know where he gets his style from. Like, the best example of, like, I don't think we would ever come to an agreement on is the fact that he was, like, scaling All Might to, like, faster than, like, country level or something. And it's just... It's so weird. I mean, you've got people in My Hero getting hit by bullets on the regular. So I don't really know where he would come up with these. I know, like, one of them, he's trying to say, like, Mirio's phasing ability has to do with quantum tunneling, so he has to be faster than light. And I'm just like, where are you kidding this? I don't know, like, his style, where it comes from, but I definitely do not agree with it, and I don't think we would come to any form of conclusion. I think it would just be us arguing about nothing. Natsu's smarter than Goku to not give Zeref a Senzu bean. Natsu would definitely not do that. Goku is not smart. Like, that is 100% true. Goku is probably, like, the lowest level of intelligence. I still want to do a main character intelligence, bracket stream. And you have, like, you're going to have, like, Goku at the bottom, and then have people like Senku and Lelouch at the top. You're going to watch Eden Zero, Malky? Glenn, I hope you enjoy it. You don't have Netflix? I currently don't have a Netflix. I canceled mine, but I'm going to bring it back for Eden Zero. Natsu would only eat a Zenzu bean if it's roasted. I mean, he just eat a Zenzu bean if you just told him what it did and you eat it. Will Tabata kill an important character in this arc? I assume so. The thing is, like, I don't really know who it would be, like, outside of someone like Yami. I've been on board, though, with the idea of, like, killing off Henry. But I don't know what it would really do at the moment. Like, when it was, like, in the later portions of the Elf Resurrection arc, I saw it as a possibility. But, like, I don't really know if it would hold a lot of weight now. It's like with, Ghosh. Like, with him, when it was, like, maybe he might die with the whole getting stabbed thing, I was just like, oh, wow. But I didn't really mind that much. Because, honestly, like, for me... He's like my lowest ranked Black Bolt. He's definitely my least favorite. But that's just my opinion. I know that he's got some fans, so they would have been sad if he died. But yeah, they'll go to Shiki versus Witch's Force arc Asta. Oh, Shiki would put that Asta in the dirt. Holy shit. Like Shiki, like not Shiki. Asta didn't start taking some of his bigger jumps, but like that Shiki, like, and he would just have to like raw hit Asta. Like, Asta's whole weakness is, like, people who are superior to him in close combat fighting. Shiki would be able just to body him. He would weigh him down with gravity, and then, bam, frickin' Meteor Breaker. Obviously, like, I don't think Shiki can win right now, but if we're going from these versions, I would definitely say Shiki. I mean, it cock change when we get to, what's Black Clover right now, 285? If we get to, like, 285 Shiki, I know, it wouldn't surprise me if Shiki could beat him. Just from, like, the way that Eden Zero is set up right now, like, general, like, jumps every time. Like, Mishima usually does a fairly considerable jump every time, like, a time skip happens. And I personally think there's going to be a time skip
after like the stuff in the Aoi Cosmos. I don't know if it's gonna be like years and years. It could just be months, but we'll see. And then Black Sky is gonna be clearly like a big thing for Shiki, so that could be like that move alone could like turn the tables. Like who knows? But I like those versions. I'd say Shiki right now. I'd say Asta. Like we're running up currents. So Brax, what do you think of the Eden Zero anime trailer in general? I like it. I really like the coloring. It looks nice. I'm a big fan of how they're showing Shiki's gravity movement. How it has that weird, almost holographic image of him that he like has set, and then he goes to that location. Because Shiki isn't flying. He's setting himself to fall essentially in different directions. Like he talked about before, he just makes it so like that's like the floor for him, and then like stops, and he can just like gravity manipulate himself in place. Except Dark tried because they will. The top 3 choices would be Yami, Nacht, and William, Nacht, Yami. Oh, and I am all on board obviously with William getting killed off. What's up, Gene? I just saw your comment. What's up? Wait, what? I just saw Raxville's message deleted by the Google moderator team. What did you say? I haven't seen one that says Google moderator team before. What did you do, man? I've been reading Mashal, writing down all of Mash power feats. I'm on chapter 46. Oh, that's good. Can't remember any, like, I can't remember anything crazy from Mash. I think personally, like, the biggest power feat, at least I can think of, is when he, like, threw that giant scorpion monster, because that thing had to weigh, like, a good, if I had to guess, like, 30, 50 tons. Like, I don't know, like, how, like, if there's an official weight to it or what, but, like, flinging that much weight casually is very impressive, like, for like, their world. Like, it seems like a lot of, like, the more powerful people in Mashal are going to be hacks, but, like, that in general was, like, a very impressive feat for, like, their world in general. Like, the other big one I saw, but not Mash, but, like, that one dude was a War Cell, when he had, like, that spatial break, like, around him with, like, those big spooky hands come out. That was just really cool. That guy looks like he's going to be really strong. Magna never catching up to Luck. I'm just hoping Magna performs. I don't expect him to be, like, the same level as Luck in terms of, like, outright stats. I'm just hoping, like, he would be able to contend with Luck with, like, strategy and, like, tactics and schemes. But, I mean, it's looking real difficult after the whole Ultimate Magic Luck thing. And it's hard because I like Magna, but it's like, damn, I don't know what Tabata's going to do with Magna when he comes back. Stop, Seki ain't doing anything except being trash. Seki, like, what's funny is, like, Josuke hates Seki. I want to know why he hates him so much. I think it's just because Seki is, like, he probably doesn't find him funny. And if you don't find a comic relief character like that funny, he's just annoying. And it'd be like you hated him every time they come on screen. So I could see that. That could be it. Maybe it's just like his personality and stuff. I think Seki's a little goofy. Where, like, Seki isn't, like, so... Like, Seki isn't frequent enough. Or, like, overly goofy enough that I don't like it. If he was, like if he was shown way more, I'd probably get a little tired of him. Because he's not as funny as, say, like, in Eden Zero, you got Moskoi and, like, Fairy Tail has Ichiya. Like, comic relief characters like that, I think, are crisp. Especially Ichiya. I love Ichiya. Ichiya is, like, one of my favorite comic relief characters there are. But, like, I can see why somebody would dislike Seki. What's up, Rax? Which Fairy Tail villains what can current Natsu defeat while motion sick? I mean, I don't really know. Like, he doesn't really have much of motion sickness, like, fighting feats. Like, Natsu doesn't have much where it's like, oh, he goes down to a certain percent, or it's like he's able still to fight, like, characters on X level, even while weakened. Like, we don't really have that. But, you know. Let's see. Who's stronger, Mard Gear or Spirit King? We would have to see the Spirit King, like, in his general strength. I personally think that when the way that Lucy summoned him, it's like the Celestial Spirit King in his regular level of power, and if Lucy summons him in a different method, like, if she's able just to summon him, like, with her advanced magic in Elantir, I think then it would be off of her magic. If I had to guess, though, I'd obviously go Mard Gear. I mean, because Mard Gear, at the end of the day, was able to block his attacks and stuff in base form, wasn't even as Aetherius. And Mard Gear has Memento Mori. Like, Memento Mori is broken as hell. And I see just some crazy freaking, crazy comments on Seki. But as I said, Asta versus Urza. Well, Asta Magic. I mean, Urza would, again, put Asta in the dirt. Like, you have a way more skilled swordsman. Urza has regular swords on top of magic swords, and we know that, like, a regular sword, Asta can deflect, but it's not like he'd cut through it and cancel it out. And Urza, like, she's a very, very smart fighter. Like, her whole style is she has a huge arsenal, and she's smart she knows how to be smart using them. Like Asta would get put in the dirt so bad. Well, I don't know why this guy's yelling. Like, again, I see all this Google moderator stuff. Like, what did he say? I'm scrolling down and I don't know what he said. Oh, some spatial dragon. Oh, for Suzaku. I'm hoping for blood, man. Blood would be so cool. Because, like, imagine if it's like he didn't get up and attack those, well, oh my god, I can't remember how to pronounce their names. I'm pulling up the chapter, actually, really quick. Just because I'm not going to be able... It's Sukiaka? I don't remember what they're called. Let me see. Where's the chapter? Yeah. Sumeaka. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Like, what if instead of him getting up to cut it, it's like he took his blade out and he cut them with the blood in their body or something? I don't know. Either way, he's cool. Natsu keeps his thought projection powers. So I personally don't think that it was thought projection. I think that's just what Natsu assumed it was. I think it has to do with his... he should have a resistance to soul-based abilities, similar to his resistance to time-based abilities, because of, like, Zeref has those abilities, and Zeref would make him in a way that he would be able to counter him. So that's always what made more sense to me, because thought projection magic, it's like making a hologram. It's not manipulating your soul. But would he be nigh unbeatable with Fire Dragon, God, and Demon Overlord indie powers? Natsu, like, when he gets to that level of status where he can go into, like, say that form he used against Mercephobia, and he can go in that at will, and it's not gonna, like, his flames aren't gonna destroy his arms. He's gonna be a monster. He'll be close to unbeatable for his verse, especially. I mean, there's always gonna be characters in fiction stronger, but... like, for a lot of anime stuff, like, he's gonna be crazy. Ziggy can be hundreds of years old for now. Oh, Xenolith. When wasn't it 100 years when he met Ziggy? Wasn't it like that was like a number stated? I think it was like around 100 years, right? Can Asta cut through fairy glitter? Where's Asta sit at strength wise? Like versus fairy glitter, because fairy glitter is a little hard to assess, because like fairy glitter was above Jura. And we know that it's a legendary class spell. I don't know. I want to see it used again, because, like, the problem is we never saw it used by anybody other than Kana, and Kana has never shown any really crazy feats of strength in terms of, like, she hasn't shown, like, anything like, even, like, Natsu bodying Ukusa Tsunagi. But we know that Kana has a lot of latent magic. You know, she's Gildarts' daughter, so she's just got a very general, amount of magic in her body. But we don't really know where she sits, like, in a 1v1 level right now. And I really wish that Mishima would have her in a fight. Like, I would love to see a statement of, like, oh, Kana's either upper Wizard Saint level, or maybe she's even low Spriggan level. Because she's, again, if she's... say somewhere like within even low Spriggan level tier, it'd be weird to see her like at that level, because we don't see her a lot. We don't get much fights to her. But I mean, she has a legendary class spell, and she's Gildarts' daughter, so it's one of those things that just makes sense really when you think about it. Mayrax, who fairy tale power would you want in real life? I mean, like stuff like Dragon Slaying Magic, but I would love Arc of Embodiment, where I can just imagine things, create things at will. Easy Nino should have been part of the crew. He's cool. I don't know if he'd fit in with the crew. I kind of like him, though, as, like, one of those characters that will float in and out of the plot. That's kind of where I'm hoping he'll be at. I don't really know, because, like, we haven't seen him in a while, but I'm very much hoping that he'll come back. Yeah, Ziggy's old. What is going on, like, some of these? What's up, Telehim? Man, Telehim's message has been sitting there waiting for a moderator to get to it. I need another mod. I got like Jared Punch, but I don't have a lot of mods in here. Let me see who I want to give like a mod spot to. Who else is in here? I would consider Bud if he didn't slander Fairy Tail, but I don't know. Oh man, I just saw a freaking Naruto filler comment. That was a while ago. What's up, Guillotine? How's it going? I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Union Zero and Shaman King in Netflix jail. Is Shaman King on there too? Because I really want to watch the Shaman King anime. I keep seeing Aknologia vs. Tentails YouTube videos. Your thoughts? Aknologia eats him. What would the Tentails possibly do to Aknologia? Aknologia got sucked into a hole in the universe where nothing exists, ate it, and then broke out. Natsu wins Haru, maybe Shiki no chance. Wait, what? Where was that comment? I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. Wait, in between present Natsu, present Shiki, and Haru, who'd win in a no bards brawl with magic, technology, and all. Wait, no holds barred brawl with magic, technology, and all powers allowed. Natsu, you give him everything, then Natsu has that form he used against Mercephobia, and he demolishes. Like, he is ridiculous with that. That was such an absurd jump in power. Like, Haru is strong, but like Haru never had the level of like endgame fights that Natsu had. Like, he had like a good jump in power in like the last battles, but Natsu has been doing that on top of having them consistently and constantly fighting people like that are really crazy. Yeah, I don't think you would eat the Tentails. Phil and Rax the villain, both trolls. I don't know what's going on with that. Are they the same person? Don't see Noelle beating Urza. Yeah, what happened? I mean, how you doing? You think Natsu will be the one dealing the final blow to Celine? I assume so. My guess is it's either going to be Natsu, or if my prediction of Jalal and Urza having like a big role in this arc, then I think it would be them. But we'll see. If Jalal shows up and like Mishima does some stuff with Jalal and Urza, I think it'll be Jalal and Urza. But otherwise Natsu, because Natsu is the strongest. He's got to get stronger to beat Igni on top of everything else. Let me see. Was Deku not able to transfer state last week? What? I don't think so. But like Noelle have ultimate magic. That's not gonna matter at all. Like Urza has Nakagami armor. She just cancels it. Phil, I don't know why this guy's yelling so much and like spamming in all caps. Cross-series match was always a headache. It depends. Like, you just gotta look at stuff without getting. You can't look at stuff from a standpoint of the series. You have to look at obviously the aspects of like the characters and their feats and stuff, their combat experience, and like everything involved. I'm not being a fanboy, Sim, but it's like, well, tell me what Noelle would do to Urza. Like, Urza drops Nakagami armor. What is Noelle's possible counter? What possible counter does she have against that? DC Marvel, they had a DC vs. Small reverse, which would eventually lead to the creation of Algorithm Universe of both. Is that, or Amalgam Universe of both? Is that what happened? I didn't know that. Honestly, don't mind Sokka being only Dragon Eater and Elentier. Oh no, the other ones are going to be there. There's no way they're not going to be here. It'd be really weird not to have them in this arc when we know that they were going. Natsu can eat human, but like, I don't think it would really do anything to him. Fanboys need to relax. Yeah, like, some people think that anti-magic just automatically beats any character with magic, when obviously that isn't the case. Otherwise, he would have beaten Dante. But Dante didn't even start getting to body magic. He just went heavy infighting and boxed the hell out of Asta. Left from Rave Master versus Gagio and Jin in a triple treat match, who would win? I mean, Gagio. Again, it's the same thing. Like, Let never had like the crazy power jump, and like his one technique that's really strong obviously makes him immortal and stuff, but it's a limited time, and he's pretty much done immediately as it's over. Jin has no chance against either of them, at least currently. And then Gagio like has intangibility. He's got 2 elements. He's got really good solid feats. Let's see. Cross series matchups are always so bad. It just depends on who it is. Oh, see, Gene's doing the work. Glad Gene showed up. I know Ziggy's based on David Bowie persona Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, I know that. Because originally Mishima was also going to name... Shiki originally was going to be named Ziggy. But he switched to Shiki, and that's, you know, Ziggy became the grandfather. Rax for Seth. Yeah, I don't know about that. And Seth doesn't even have time for me. Dude's got like... What doesn't he have like... Doesn't he have like 300,000 subs? I got like 4K. I'm a small channel. Means there's going to be top 10 2021 anime. I hope so, dude. It looks good. Let's see. Asta versus Fat Gum. What's Fat Gum gonna do? Asta's just gonna slash him. Like, even like not even taking anti-magic into account, like it's still a big heavy sword hitting you at high speeds. Like, I bet being the last to get her ether gear is basically the key to the crew. I mean, she's got the probably the best ether gear, but she just is the least experienced. They're gonna get her up. Don't you worry about that. Yinzer will dominate the Crunchyroll. I hope so. Would they even nominate it if it's not on a Crunchyroll? Actually, didn't they have that Devilman Crybaby anime on there? And that wasn't. I don't think that was on their platform. Seth will be the guy that scale ult tier to infinite multiverse. That's my pullback when I get to like when you run into people who wank statements and stuff to try and get like power levels ridiculously above the logical one. It's like you just got to be illogical to them. So I pull out that ult tier one. It's like, well, then ult tier said she was multiversal, so I guess we're multiversal now. Black Sky can be translated as Black Heaven, which is nice for Demon King. The Demon. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Shiki mimics flying is the best I've seen. I do really like the way he moves in the air with his gravity inflation. I think it's cool. I have not yet watched the Dragon Quest anime yet. Jared Punch. Man, I'm seeing all these deleted messages. Like Gene's doing work. It's a good thing Gene's here. Chopper spilling blood from Queen. Commander's breath. So I thought that too, to be perfectly honest. When I saw, like, I heard some of the stuff that happened in the chapter, and then I saw like a meme of like Chopper throwing Queen. But then I read the actual chapter, and like when I saw that like Queen spit out blood, I was like, damn, like Chopper's putting in work. And that's one of that did though make me a little sad, because when I saw the panel, it reminded me that I wish so bad that Oda didn't give Chopper like full control in the Monster Point, or at least kept that spookiness to it. I really liked the when we got Monster Point, and it had like the shading around the top. He had those, the anime eyes where it's just white. You don't have any pupils. And, he's got the weird, like, matted fur, like, draped over his shoulders and down his chest. I thought that was really cool. He was like their Hulk. And I wasn't a huge fan. Like, I still remember the panel. And I remember the scene in Fishman Island. Because, like, I remember when it happened. I was like, no, they made it this cool form look a little, like, cartoony. And all the stuff that happened from the time skip, like, if I can do one thing, even though, like, I'm sad that they made Sanji less cool but more simpish, but, like, man, that if I could undo the way that they changed the form for Chopper, I'd be so happy. Pineapple Marco Phoenix with 2 commanders. Yeah, man, he's putting in work. He's putting them in the dirt, too. You hate Seki, too? I can see why people would hate Seki. Because he's like a comedic relief character, but he's like on top of like being funny, like he's like funny in like either a very goofy or sad way, but on top of that he's an asshole. And like when we first introduced Seki, he was like being a piece of shit and stuff. So I can see that. It's not like someone like in like Ichigo, where Ichigo is just always just really goofy, but like besides his goofiness, he's just a really good guy. Marco Bounty's probably less than 1 billion. Well, I would imagine Marco hasn't been as active, but his bounty might actually be more than 1 billion now, because he's probably been on the run since like all the Whitebeard pirates have been getting all shocked and rattled and stuff. What's up? Oh, speaking of that, what's up, Shock Schlop? How are you doing today? I'm gonna make Guild 0 a mod. Guild 0 is always very polite. Add moderator. You do the good work there, Guild 0. I believe in you. Like Gene. Take examples from Gene. Gene's always a good mod. Gene's got the potential one to be like make like chat moderator like his job, and just like they'll just advertise to a bunch of other YouTubers, just like, yeah, just pay this guy, and like accumulatively multiple streaming adminnings, he'll accumulate enough cash, and it'll be his permanent profession. Pretty predictable that Chopper and Queen are going to fight eventually. I didn't really think about it, to be perfectly honest. Like, when it came down to it, it makes a lot of sense now, because, Doctor and, like, Disease Guy. I didn't really think about it until recently. Like, I think this chapter, when I saw them actually fighting, I gave the mashup really, like, why are they fighting? And then I thought about those two aspects, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's probably, though, because, like, I didn't expect Chopper to really get a fight this arc, and I'm pretty happy. Like, even if it's not like a full fight, like I'm hoping for just like a chapter or two if we can get a cool Chopper battle. I like Chopper, and like his drawback, like him getting pulled back and like his level of activity in the series since the time skip was always one of the things I was never a fan of. And like I explained a couple minutes ago about his Monster Point form, like since then, like I've been bummed out when I see him, because he's become more of the mascot character, but like he was a mascot character with like the cool stuff with his monster point and his other forms, and I'm happy to see him get to do stuff again. Damnatio is cool. I like Damnatio too, but not like a lot. Like he's just like on my alright bar. Rax, do you have any theory about Moscow Belly Button? I have no idea what that thing does. The only thing I could really think of is it's like maybe like a battle form, like, or maybe like a big weapon, like maybe he summons like something. I don't know. Sir Borja Kwaki's debut and animation against Gar was epic. Yeah, I saw that. It looked really nice. I thought the flashing was a nice touch. Damnatio, not really a bad guy. I mean, he's kind of like, he's like in this weird gray area, but like I think he is kind of bad, just from like how he was talking to Asta and stuff. Like he's got a bad. Wait, what? What is that? What furry called Naruto? What do you? I don't know what you're talking about. I was wondering, none of the team could fight. None of the team Natsu could fight an Allen tier without winning his enchantment so far. Oh yeah, they couldn't really do anything to the Superior. I don't know though if Natsu's would be a little different. And like Urza didn't use Nakagami, but like Nakagami's different because as far as we know, it targets specifically spells. Whereas like it wouldn't surprise me if Natsu's Dragonfire was able to also burn like spiritual arts and stuff. Just because it's completely different because it's Dragonfire, and we know how dragons are in the series. That was not at me. Oh, it's all right, Gene. You're doing a good job. I just saw this one. And it's like, don't worry about it, Gene. You're doing a good job. You're doing the Lord's work. One day I'm gonna get Gene to either read some more Fairy Tail Edens or Rave Master and have him get on the Mishima stuff. Jason Bornot, Jason, if you stay on like the right track, I've been really upset with you still over the Build King slander. I really don't like it when people like they make it out like they want something to get canceled, and it's really just because they're not a fan of the series, and just because it's very disrespectful to the creators, and it's like they put especially when they put in like a lot of like thought and passion into a series, and it's like you just want them to get like see all that get torn down. Like, I wish I could make my own series, but I don't have the talent. Like, I can't draw. I have ideas, but I can't draw at all. So it's like, I have the... I'd like to believe I have the heart for it, but I don't think so. I don't really know. Obviously, I would have to do it to really say for sure. But it's like, I want to enough that like I can kind of, like, I can see the passion of a content creator. And like it just make me really sad to like know if people wanted something I made just to get canceled just because they weren't a fan of it. So it bums me out to see people say stuff like that for Build King. Nino could have been an Navitor for plants. Wasn't his job though? He was based off of a German YouTuber guy, and I don't remember what he did in Kurenai's crew. So I'd have to go back and look. But I mean, like maybe he's. I don't really know what he would do, but like at the same time, like I don't think he would really fit fully well in the Eden Zero crew. But like I personally think he'd be way cooler if he ended up joining the Federation and like we see him there, and he could be a character that ends up maybe starting to get things better on the inside. But I don't really know how much the whole Federation Union is gonna like be on the large scale. Like are they gonna like end up being corrupt, or are they just gonna be like not really getting the picture when it comes to Eden Zero, or what? But I actually would really like the idea of him joining them. I think that'd be really cool, because the thing with his panel that people obviously would use when he's got like those sick big arms behind him, those big powered arms, is like imagine him in like a badass outfit, because like he's got like the anime outfit and stuff. He's just wearing a t-shirt and stuff. He's got his hair tied back and stuff, and it's cool to see like a character with like a little bit of a non-serious look be serious and be cool. But imagine if he was like in one of those sick outfits like Justice or Creed or something. He would look so much more badass. Dravenov, you are always here. I'll make you a mod too. Or would you say Akanogi ravines of time put him API? Well, he was a threat to reality. He said, like, his words, so the thing is, he has to be stronger than Zeref, and Zeref was able to affect time, like, in general. Like, time itself, across, it would have to be across every timeline, because the way that he describes it is a time reset. It's not time travel. And Acnologia is stronger, and on top of that, the way he said he was going to surpass the limits of time-space. He was going to surpass literally like what concepts could handle and destroy everything. Like he was a world level threat before, and then like after that he just became ridiculous. Haru got the swag. Haru's awesome. Yeah, I love Haru. I always really like Mishima's main characters, and that's one thing with Tabata is I obviously really like Asta. So I liked I'm trying to remember what his name was from Mishima's series before Black Clover when he did Hungry Joker. I'm trying to remember his name, but I liked him. I didn't like him as much as I like Asta, but it shows that I like his characters, like his main characters especially. So like if he does another series after Black Clover, I know I know the odds are I'm gonna like him. That's one of the reasons I was excited about Build King is I liked Toriko and I liked how Shimabukuro does characters and stuff. So I knew I was gonna like the characters, or at least again enough reason with experience to say that I would more than likely like them, and I did. So always a plus. Can't rune save. I mean, he can use rune save, but I mean, like, good luck hitting Natsu. That's the same thing. It's like Asta and anti-magic against Natsu's using magic, sure, like in concept, but it's like the stat gap, the combat experience gap, the way that they both generally just fight. Gagio versus Urza. I'd go Urza. I really want Gagio to get some form of upgrade and to get something, but like right now he doesn't have it, whereas Urza's just got like those two. She's got the new swords with, other people's magic enchanted in them and stuff. But on top of that, like, she was close to beating Laxus. Like, that is a big feat in of itself. In the Akanogi appear in Beta Heaven? Oh, 100%. I really want to see a conversation between the two of them. Oh, absolutely. I'm not reading that schlop. Gagio is awesome, but Urza does win. Let's see. Typing in all caps. I don't know why he's typing all caps. He hasn't really been spamming much though. Oh, he got timed out. Well, Phil Jones, if you're still here, don't spam aggressively, man. He's just typing in all caps. Let him type in all caps. But as long as he's not saying anything disrespectful or anything really bad, like, I don't mind if he's just typing in all caps. As long as he's not spamming or being really rude or saying anything bad, then just let him be. But I mean, if you're still here, Phil Jones, just don't say bad stuff. Gene will strike you. Gene's got high speed feats as a mod. You think Suzaku's a mentor figure to Kira? Wait, what? Oh, you mean Kiria? I never really thought of like the relationship between them, but that would be really cool. Because it does make sense if Kiri would try and fight him a lot, because she loves, like, Kiria clearly just loves sword fighting in general. She loves when people clash blades. So it would make sense of why she would want to fight Suzaku, but maybe Suzaku is just so strong she doesn't really want to fight him. But I could see a dynamic like that between them. I think that would be really cool if so. I never really thought too much about like how he would interact with them, because it didn't seem like they really had a lot of conversation. But I mean, we didn't see much of them. But like I don't know why I said didn't seem much of the conversation. More of like they didn't really interact much with the Black Dragon Slayer Knights. I would assume that like Scoleon's group mostly talked to each other out of their guild. But, like, yeah, it would make sense in general of their character. I'm actually really enjoying the idea of that. I think that'd be really cool. Do you believe Natsu's All Fire could come back? All Fire? I'm trying to remember. Oh, do you mean like when he had the multiple elements? Or what do you mean? I'm trying to remember when he had something called All Fire. Treat Asa weakling without anti-magically, but also... I mean, like, without anti-magic, obviously Asa's not as strong. Like, the thing is, like, Asa's got, like, some fair stats, but, like, when it comes to fighting, his big thing is, like, using anti-magic. He's still physically strong, even without it, though. But, I mean, like, you take that away, like, he's having a terrible time. Celine should require group oh, 100% there should be group fighting against Celine. Celine is much smarter and seems way more tactical and, like, scheme-heavy than Alderaan. I fully expect her to be harder to beat. Just from that alone. Not even talking about, like, their power level should be, obviously similar. Like, Celine even confirmed that, but Celine just seems like she'd be way trickier to fight in general. You could put God himself versus anyone from Fairy Tail. I mean, not really. I mean, if we're talking about, like, characters, this is what I'm talking about. When you mention, like, a character, and then we're talking about, like, Noelle versus Urza, obviously Urza's putting her in third, but that doesn't mean, like, every character loses to Fairy Tail character, but it's just because they beat characters with lower stats from series that don't have as much content and don't have as high of power levels as them. Juice, you definitely missed with that one, my guy. It's funny, because I talked about that earlier, and then you came in doing the same thing. Easy's animation is so different to any Mishima's others. Yeah, it looks really clean. And, like, it's funny because, like, the style also makes it further from, like, Shiki looking anything like Natsu. Like, you can see some of the similarities, like, in early Eden Zero, but, like, it's way less later. But that's just because, like, Mishima's style is shifting into, like, with Eden Zero, and it's going to be more akin to Eden Zero. And then when he does this next series, it's going to shift into a different style as well and evolve and progress. That's not true, Schloplock. It's not even, like, all characters. Like, if you're just talking about, like, characters that are weaker. But, I mean, like, if you're like, who wins, Natsu or Doctor Strange or Doctor Fate or frickin' Dark Side or something, I'm gonna be like, obviously Natsu can't beat them. Like, there are times when you have, like, yeah, the hacks factor if he brings out conceptual destruction stuff. But, like, those characters, I'm fully confident could deal with that just fine. But it's just like, when you bring in characters like Noelle versus Urza, like, you tell me, actually, better yet, Juice Juice or Schloplock or Sinbad, tell me what Noelle does to Urza. Tell me what she at all does to Urza. I would love to hear your argument. That's as, like, as silly as when people are saying Libby versus Luck. You know, I keep saying Libby because of, but Josuke, Liebe, German. So sometimes, like, when Josuke's, like, variations of it always, stick in my head, and then I'll read it in my head as that, and then I'll end up saying it. But Liebe, or in his case, Libby. His does work better when you say Chibi Libby, though, for his small form. Moore's Overdrive could have similarities to Valkyrie's armament system. That would be really cool. I really want to see the overdrives. It's rough seeing, like, imagining overdrives because we've only seen, like, what, 2? We saw Shiki's and we saw Drac and Joe's. Right? I don't think we've seen any others. I can't think of any other on top of my head. Anything, in the Ocean 6 will join Eden Zero. If who, I want Callum. I want Lyra. Because, like, I like her design. Like, when it comes to Callum, he's got the coolest ether gear. I mean, just in general, like, it's atomic stuff. That's going to be really badass to see. It's dangerous. But, like, Lyra has... I think she has the most fun design. I like her ether gear. I like her personality so far. I definitely would pick her. Plus, I feel like she would get along with a lot of them. She seems really nice. Who do you think for an... Oh, wait, I read this one. Reims versus Hamoru would be so cool. Or Odin Strike. Oh, that's the sword magic guy. I don't have all... Like, for Build King, I've read Build King, but I've only read through Build King for the most part once. I've read through a couple chapters more than once. But I don't have all the names, you know, stapled in. I'm going to reread it soon, though. I do like Mashal. I think I might save it to when the physical volumes come out, and then I'll probably start doing a reread then. Yeah, Odin Strike versus him. I would love to see some feats from them, because, like, outside of Mash, there's not a lot of big feats, at least from what I can remember, if you could say otherwise for Mashal. Because that guy with his cool freaking Ares black magic sword, that'd be really sick to see used in there. But, like, Hamura versus him would actually be a really cool fight. Oda needs to let Robin fight in. She's gonna fight again. She's gonna fight soon. She's up against Black Maria. I don't want too many people joining. But if any of the Ocean 6 join, I want it to be Lyra. I think it's because Oda's nature to gradually make characters more cartoonish over time. I mean, like, I'm fine with... Chopper became more cartoonish in general, and I was fine with all this forms. The only one I wish that he left the way that it at least looked. He could have Chopper in Control talking, but I just wish that he kept drawing Monster Point the same way, where it just always, like, he was like this ominously spooky animal. And, like, when I said that he was like their Hulk in concept, but he was like a cryptid. He felt like just this weird missing creature, but like this terrifying, like, Bigfoot-esque, like, monster. And I thought that was really cool about him. That's one of the things I really liked about Chopper. And it bummed me out so bad because they made him look more silly. Chopper Old Monster Point looked way better. I know, it looked so much cooler. Like, it looked badass. Like, and it was so unexpected too. Like, it's funny because, like, all the other characters, like, when they were start getting, like, their power-ups and stuff, when it came to stuff going into CP9, none of them had that, like, it was cool, but none of them had that shock value that Monster Point had, because, like, it was so different from Chopper in general, and you wouldn't, like, there was no way anyone was going to expect him to have some giant, uncontrolled, monstrous form like that, and he was just going to immediately demolish his opponent. Like, that was so cool. With Mavis gone, can people still acquire Fairy Glitter? I assume Kana could. Well, no, Kana can. Kana has it. Like, we saw Kana use it when she showed up drunk in Drasil. What I'm talking about. I don't know if other people are going to be able to get it, but, like, Kana should be good. Like, she's still got it. My favorite, second installment of my series may have FMA vibes. I just had to realize that. Are you going to have, like, the military, or do you mean, like, alchemy? Yes, sir, my mod full-time. Yeah, Super Gene. Gene's, he's got, like I said, he's got high mod speed feats. The Chopper moment surprised me a lot. Latest One Piece chapter was wild the whole time. I enjoy Chopper. Like, I like Chopper. Like, one of the big things for me when it came to, like, One Piece after the time skip that I wasn't a fan of is, like, a lot of the main cast didn't have, like, a lot of spotlight. And that bugged me a lot. But, like, the big things was, like, for me, like, probably the biggest thing was just, like, the biggest thing overall was, like, just Sanji being constantly down bad all the time. And I was talking with some of the guys the other day about this, and it's like, Sanji is always a simp, but he was always cool enough to balance that out. But, like, he stopped being as cool, but his simpery kept going up. So, like, I just became less and less interested in seeing him show up, because I knew how it was going to go every time. Whereas, like, Brook is my favorite Straw Hat now. Like, Brook always comes in clutch. He's always putting in work. He's always performing and making sure shit gets done. And that's the thing I like about Brook in general. He combines magic and technology similar to Ether Gear, but his robot arms have different abilities. I noticed that too. I thought they were Ether Gears, and then, like, not that long ago, I looked at his hands with those up, and I remembered that they weren't, because he had no ether lines anywhere from visibly that I could see, but he could get an Ether Gear. Chopper's best feats are tanking. Oh yeah, that Big Mom hit. Yeah, that was impressive. But at the same time, it was like, man, Big Mom shouldn't have, like, that. It was cool that he did that, but I still think it shouldn't have happened, because, like, him having any way of defense against Big Mom, I thought was, like, weird, because Big Mom should be so far above him it shouldn't matter. Queen should have had a Plague Doctor mess. That would have actually been really cool. I mean, but Oda for some reason only has, like, it's like reverse. Like, Mishima always has, like, at least one silly character in a group, whereas Oda usually has silly characters and then, like, one or two badass dudes. Like, look at the Beast Pirates, and then you have, like, all these goofy guys, and then you have King, and he looks like a badass. And even his form, when he looks like this weird black strap flaming pterodactyl, he looks really cool. But Queen, Queen's weird, because I don't really care for him. I don't dislike him. I don't like Jack. But, like, and I like King, but, like, Queen is in that middle ground where I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. Like, if something bad happens to him or something, he does something cool, it's just like, it doesn't really do much for me either way. I'm waiting for King. I want to see King do stuff. Well, stuff with Pino. I really liked Pino's voice actress in the trailer. I thought that was great. Would win Yami Asa Noel and or Naruto. Naruto should body the hell out of him. What do you mean? But I think Gray's going to get power up and start. I assume all of them are just going to get their general advancements, but I would hope that Gray gets something new, especially. Build King power systems. I really like Build King's power system. Build King's power system is really cool because it's simple, and yet it has a lot to do. It has a lot to work with. I actually, for the first time, I found spoilers for the next chapter, and they expand upon that a little bit, but there's some interesting stuff getting ready to go down. I'm really excited. Can you draw? I can't draw. I want to draw so bad. Like, I wish I could draw. I want to do my own series, but, like, I have no drawing capabilities. Oh, Gene says, like the stream. Thank you, Gene. And with that, I'll do a quick shill. I'd really appreciate 37 people in here. We got 21 likes. If we can get a couple more likes in the video, in the stream. Subscribe if you haven't. I will post the Discord link again for anybody that's shown up since then, if they want to join the Discord and come chat. I haven't been as active in there lately, but I want to. I've been a little preoccupied lately, but I was mostly just trying to get back on track with stuff. And I actually recorded my next character discussion video, and I'm going to post it probably Monday or Tuesday. I want to get back on it. I think my plan is I'm going to... I'm just going to, like, do them probably, like, on Fridays, recording them, and then release them early in the week, like on Tuesdays, maybe, because those are usually when Fairy Tail is going on, but also, the weeks that there's no Fairy Tail, it would fit in as well. But yeah, and as well, oh, sweet, we got a couple likes, got 25 likes now, appreciate it, guys. And then the last thing, any form of donations, if you guys want to throw anything at me, like even $1, I would appreciate it, but it is, as I've always said, required Sorry, no, it is appreciated, not required. I almost messed that up and sounded like a jerk. Tonkachi stomps Seki. Oh, no, the thing is, he actually does. Like, Tonkachi is actually really pretty strong. Like, he started out really strong for a character, like, only 15 chapters in. Like, his chapter 1 feat is really impressive. It's really impressive. Like, I've ran the numbers on it. He's, like, town level, and he could... Oh, I hiccuped. He can spam that attack. Like, he spammed it. He spammed a harder version of it at 10 meters with the backside of his hammer. Becky's an ice cream, I'm sure, but she's an unemployed neat living money sent to her by old wives. I mean, she's trying really hard to make it as a beekeeper, but I mean, luckily now she's on the Eden Zero. That's funny is she doesn't really need to work now. She's on like a big ass fancy super ship. Award Wise versus Kawaki and Karma. Wait, what? Homework? Wait, with Karma Seal? I actually don't really know much about like Kawaki stat wise, so I can't really say. Cause I know he's got like the ability to absorb powers and stuff, and then like he's got the more advanced form with his Otosuki stuff. But I can't think of any of his big feats off the top of my head. I have to go back and look. Am I caught up in Vigilantes? I'm not caught up in Vigilantes yet. All right, Battle of Brain Senku versus Zeref. Zeref literally found a way to time travel. Check my Twitter DMs. I'll get to it, Faith. I'll probably stream for like another half hour, maybe a little bit around that. I'm gonna take a quick minute or so. I gotta run downstairs real quick. I bought a turkey, but it doesn't fit into, like, I have a Dutch oven pot, so I had to like strip all the meat off it and put it in there. I gotta go check on it. It's been going for like a little under an hour and a half, and I want to see how it's doing. I think Netflix released the episode at once for Eden Zero. I have no idea if they're gonna release it all at once or if they're gonna do it week by week. I actually don't really know how Netflix does a lot of their stuff, because I don't really watch a lot of Netflix exclusives. I watch like Cannon Busters and Castlevania. I can't think of many off the top of my head. Usually, I haven't had Netflix in a while. I canceled my Netflix a while ago. I just looked over my cat sitting in my doorway. He's really weird. He likes to do that for some reason. Hi, Tartaros. What are you doing, bud? He's eating something. Or licking something. I don't know. What's up, though, Faith? How's it going? I mean, Senku can count for centuries. Zeref literally invented a way to resurrect people from the dead, create sentient life forms out of raw energy, travel through time. Why don't you read? I haven't read any webtoons lately. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of webtoons. It's not that I'm not against webtoons. I just am not a fan of them personally. Oh yeah, they should be faster. That is true, Guild Zero. I didn't really think of speed feats, but just like keeping up with like any of the characters that they've caught up with, even like lower levels of them should be faster. Because like the thing Eden Zero doesn't really have right now are speed feats. Like, they don't have much for speed. Let's see. I bet Levin Glory can no diff Nasha and Grish. He has no. That's actually a funny one because he has no powers. I don't think he has any ability feats. It's mostly just him talking. Oh, we talk about when like Natsu's sevenfold Dragon Force. I don't think he's gonna get that again. I don't want him to have that again. I don't really like. I'm fine with Lightning Flame Dragon mode and like the character, like some characters having dual elements. I don't want Natsu to have the seven Dragon's Fires again. I don't need him to have that many elements. I want to see him progress his Dragon Force and stuff. Oh, I'll check in a second, Faith, because I'm gonna go downstairs in a second and check on my food. But I'm trying to catch up with the chat. What's up, Kenmano? How are you doing? I just saw your post. Oh, I just noticed. Knight, thank you for the $2 super chat, Faith. Check Twitter DMs. I will. I'm gonna do it in a second. Like I said, I'm about to run downstairs. Oh, and Kamano just super chatted too. $2. I'm not getting notifications. I didn't see any of the bars on. See, this is why I gotta turn the general notifications back on. But I feel like they're gonna start playing again. Yeah.
Oh shit.
For some reason,
He's busted a nut.
For some reason, my stream lag notifications are playing the old ones. But I'm seeing it now. But yeah, what did he say though? Rax, you capping? You always cap. I'm not capping though, Kenmano. I'm not capping at all. Sanji's been down bad. It's really unfortunate. Let me see where I'm at. I'll run down since I read those. That's a good time for me to take a minute. If you guys want to ask me more questions, or I don't know. That's the only thing I was gonna say because I was gonna be like, there's nobody else. There's nobody else here to talk to the chat while I'm away. But I will. Let me find a spot really quick. Okay, here we go. Luckily, Kenny boy, I just read the stuff. So I'll be right back. Faith, I'll read the DM while I'm downstairs. I'll be back in like
a minute or two. Like, it's not a minute long. I'm literally gonna run downstairs and look at this food. I've returned. What's going on with you guys? Let me see. Let me get caught back up. So do you think you should return? I don't want Nazi to have the multiple elements like to that degree. I'm fine with having them too, but I would prefer him continuously progressing and just like the way that his fire is and not having a bunch of elements. It's kind of like when people say like the idea of Lucy becoming a Dragon Slayer. I don't like the idea of it because like Lucy's got her own new thing kind of going on with her Stardust mix, and obviously now with her advanced level of Celestial Spirit magic, it'd be really weird to give her an entirely new magic that she would have to master on top of her other magic, and it's such a different style than like how she normally fights. Like when Grey got Devil Slayer, Grey already fought like a lot like a brawler and like a melee combatant, so like him getting a Slayer magic, I imagine wasn't that much different for like how he fought normally. It was an improvement because it became a lot more durable. Although when he gets against Alderon, I mean that was Dragon Force. That was like his fire. That was his actual flames. Whereas like the one with when they fought Acnologia, it was a mixture of like all the other elements in their magic in Tenatsu.
and he had all these other characters, types of elements clad on his fire and stuff, and it was cool. But I don't really want him to have that again. I honestly think the Kawaki is stronger than everybody on the Zero crew except for Xenolith. Yeah, probably. Did he say that it's all fire? Was that in the dub? I don't remember it in the sub. Was Romeo's rainbow fire foreshadowing? No, that was definitely not. Definitely not. Romeo, has he used the rainbow fire? I don't think so, unless it's an anime thing. Let me look up Romeo common boat. I don't think so, but I honestly don't remember like much of his additional anime content. Like, I don't remember if like there's a scene where he uses an extra. Does he use rainbow fire? When did he use? Oh, that was like a random additional scene in Alvarez. I don't remember that. I honestly don't remember. Like I like my brain turning on to anything going on with Romeo. I think one of the things about that is like just because Romeo had almost no role in the final arc. Oh no, that's in Tartaros. I just noticed. I was looking at a GIF. But that is true. Like, I didn't pay attention to Romeo, like, at all in the final arc. Because, like, Romeo didn't have a fight. I really wish that he just fought one lackey. Like, if there was, like, a guy that, obviously, like, any of the characters normally could beat. But, like, if there was a situation where none of them are around. And we just got, like, a very grounded, lower-level fight. But a cool fight for Romeo. I would have been really happy. Even if that was additional in the anime. I don't remember this scene in the anime, which is funny, of him using the rainbow fire. But I'm looking at the GIF; it looks clean. Like, in all honesty, the coloring they did on it looks good. Let me see, Gilzer looks like the case. Oh, I don't know what that meant. Do you think Vonica would fall head over heels for acting Logia? I mean, probably. Like, he's just absurdly powerful. But I mean, like, what would she even do? Like, Acnologia would probably ignore her. I don't know, like, she would, because if he tried to attack her, or she tried to attack him, she's not a dragon, so, like, he would probably mess around with her a little bit, but I don't know, I don't really see it going well for her in any degree. Let me see. I'm just asking a question real quick in our group chat, and then I'm gonna get back to the comments. No versus Urza isn't debatable. Yeah, I know. There's such a big gap in those, dude. I want June to join the crew to be the secretary account for the crew. I don't know. That'd be really weird, because, like, she has the... like, so far, obviously, if they haven't done much, like, she has the least amount of dialogue. Like, she doesn't seem to really talk. And, I mean, she works for Shura, so I imagine, like, Shura and her get along enough that he hasn't killed her. I definitely said Chibi leave first. Not that Chibi leave. I'm talking about just, like, how... Josuke says Libi instead of Libe, and I was just saying like the way that he says Libe works better with Chibi Libi. I just saw that comment. I bet current Noelle has a chance against chained Kid Ursa. Oh, come on, that's disrespectful to Ursa. Disrespectful to Noelle. Noelle's obviously way stronger than that. I know it can make it a lot of water. Probably drown Ursa. I mean, no, Ursa just goes into her Sea Empress armor. GG. On the spring anime instantly oh wait, did they really trash Eden Zero? Man, it's a good thing I don't watch. I don't really know anything about the anime, man. I'm glad I don't watch his videos then, because that would really annoy me. Good. That just means he cannot be part of the watch. Good for him. That's what I was thinking about recently, because like I was so annoyed of. Like, was it, like, Super Mecha Frieza had that post, like, she was being more, like, goofy about, like, Elsie looking like Ursa. I didn't mind her, because I feel like she's one of the people that will actually watch it, and then, like, oh, well, they look similar intentionally, but their characters, their backstories and roles in story are obviously way different. Whereas, like, these other assholes are just gonna, like, talk shit. They're not gonna watch it, but they're gonna continuously just talk shit, and... just be disrespectful, and I don't really like it when people are disrespectful in the manga, because of themselves especially. It's really dumb. And like when you get people saying like, oh, you know, he's just recycling his old characters, he can't come up with the new ones. Like, You look at all the characters in Eden Zero, and they're only ever going to talk about Elsie and Justice. It's really dumb. Cause I was talking to you the other day, and I was just like, okay, tell me who looks like Poseidon Arrow. And then, I don't know about that one character. And I just named a bunch. Never answered. Never answered about it. Let's see. Oh no, Rammerster's good. Wait, what? I'm sorry, you don't get points when you trash him and take the piss. He can fuck himself. Oh, yeah, I don't really care about the anime man. I mean, but if he's being an asshole about it, then he can fuck off, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know anything about him. I don't watch any of his content. I'm not obviously talking about him on a personal level, but in this case, fuck him. But, I mean, he can do his thing. Like I said, if people want to be assholes and be toxic, then they can just stay out of the fandom, and we don't want to deal with it. That's just how it can be. Do video set the programmer? Like I said, I don't think that would work. I don't think him and I would agree on anything. Plus, like I said, he has a big channel. My channel's small. At least anime can give a chance to watch because of the JC staff. Wait, who was it? I thought you said the anime guy did it. I'm confused, Rammerster. Because now I'll feel bad if the wording was wrong and he didn't say it. Did he say that? I have no idea. I'll just cover my ass. If he didn't say that and I read that wrong, then undo my statements of displeasure towards comments. Spam. Look at that. I'm legally safe. Who from the Black Bulls can defeat who from Fairy Tail? I mean, like, do you mean the guild? I mean, you have to get lower, because, like, the thing is, when it comes to, like, even the guild itself, like, a lot of them have some pretty fair feats. Like, Max, I was so happy when Max went and we got revealed that he trained over the last year with Agil. Like, he went to Alvarez, met with Agil, and became, like, trained with them enough that they were, like, seemed to be on a good enough terms that he could, like, call him, like, on a first name basis, even though, like, Agil's an emperor. Like, he's an actual emperor. So that was always, to me, like, a really good moment that came out of Drasil. Like, definitely one of my favorite chapters in that arc. It's because it showed a lot of, like, the best features of their guild. It's like, even if characters are weaker, they're able still to be useful. And in that case, like, Wendy was able to buff them all the hell up, so they were able to fight. And I really liked that. And again, it made sense, because none of the God Seeds had any combat experience. Like, they just got up. Like, the most they would really have for combat experience is, like, if they had some form of memories from Alderaan. And as well as, like, they were all, like, outside of, like, the Alderaan, like, form, like, his God Seed. And I guess Wolfen, because Wolfen's different. Wolfen's a complete different case. But, like, the other three with Doom, Metro, and Gears, like, they were all hacks, like, kind of classic casters. None of them were, like, fighters, so, like, them not being very durable made sense. What busting tier do you see Asta at the end? What tier do I see busting at the middle of Black Clover? I mean, that's kind of hard, because, like, we don't really know where, like, end series tiers are going to be. But, like, right now, it would just be, like, kind of seeing him on level with, like, people like Dante and because we don't really know if, like, he'll be on level with Lucifaro or if it'll be, like, a big group battle against Lucifaro, but, like, definitely be above people like Dante and, like, Doubles and stuff. So he should still be pretty strong. It's kind of hard to say, though, because we don't know big game stuff with Black Clover yet. We don't know if, like, where we're at is even, like, big game, or if, like, the Devils and stuff are like, middle of the road, and Tabata has a bunch of bigger stuff later down the line. How would 1,000 Year Blood work? Are Ichigo fair against Alderaan? How would he even get close to Alderaan? Like, Alderaan's shouts have so much force, they cleared the sky for thousands of miles and shattered mountains. Like, anybody 1v1ing Alderaan would have such a bad time. Because, like, you have Wolfen, who can create dozens of copies of the strongest person you know, complete with abilities. You have Doom, who has fate manipulation auto-death after 5 minutes. You have Gears, who can fuck with your brain at a temporal level that makes you forget how to use abilities. You're not able to see who you're even fighting, and it slowly just stops your brain in time. Metro wouldn't be that much of a thing, because he's mostly just spamming, like, these big, powerful, you know, golems and stuff. These big wood golems, he's not that much of a threat to a lot of characters. Just because, like, he doesn't have hacks. I mean, he's like he's really useful in combo, because he's like, you know, big numbers, large opponents that he's just sending your way. Whereas, like, the other ones are all really hacks. And then there's obviously Godseed Alderaan. And the scary thing about Alderaan is like he has a way that you can weaken him to make it easier to defeat him, but it'd be hard like in the first place. And then he's on a timer. Then he's just outright on a timer. Because he, after so much amount of time, his God Caesar is just going to resurrect. Let me see real quick. What DC character? I don't want to go into DC stuff. Like, there's so many DC characters, and like DC, like every character has so much lore and like content that I don't know about because there's like a million runs and different variations. That's the hard thing about when it comes to like Marvel and DC and stuff. Is like one character could have 50 million versions with 50 million feats. So I'm thinking about trying to like talk about all of Superman's feats. Yeah, 80 plus years of Superman doing ridiculous things. How far? Let's see. The thing is, like, Ichigo is strong, but like Alderaan attacks, and he's got raw strength. He's got resistances to a lot of abilities, because like you treat magic and Ryatsu the same way. So like stuff like Getsuga Tenshos, I don't really see them doing anything to Alderaan. Let's see. Where's I think Eden's on Netflix. So the thing is, like, it has a positive and a negative because obviously, like, there's a lot of people have Netflix, so a lot of people can view it, and it can be more of like a casual start versus like if it was on like Crunchyroll or something where it's like only for the most part, like the only people who are going to Crunchyroll are anime fans. So it's like you like versus people who also are anime fans that have Netflix, and then maybe people who aren't even like maybe big anime fans that could start Eden Zero and like it, because like the space aspect alone is like a good segue into the series, and it could easily be a lot of people's like first series. I could see that a lot, especially with like the style of it, because there's not a lot of space shonens. Let's see a little bit more about alchemy, more to make sense. Research man. Hold on, let's wait until we get Eden Zero anime since it's on Netflix. Eden Zero, it comes out on April 10th. I don't know about after that. Finding Eden Zero on Netflix, hopefully it will gain popularity. I hope so. Yeah, Brook's cool. Sanji's my favorite strike. He used to be my favorite. I haven't liked how he's been since the time skip. Yeah, the same thing, Malky. Like, Oda's just been making him look too simpy since the time skip. Team Zoro fools. Zoro, on the other hand, is beloved by Oda. Who's gone dirty right now? Great. Wait, who's being done dirty right now? Gray or Sanji? Sanji is way worse. Sanji, after that statement where he was like, "Oh, I can't use my hockey because I don't want to hurt the hands of a woman," it's just like, man, that is like some. When you see like the super, the fedora white knight meme, you see like it's like such a ridiculous level of these guys being like white knight chivalrous dudes for these chicks. Like that's what immediately when I thought when it came to Sanji's statement, like I can't even defend myself because I don't want to hurt your hands, and I was just like, man, no, Sanji, what are you doing? So it's like if Black Marine was somebody that would have killed her opponent very shortly in, Sanji would be dead right now. I wish so bad that instead of just being a simp and standing there and letting them beat the shit out of him, he just said, "Oh, I'm gonna lead them to Robin," instead of just getting captured, beaten up, and then yelling for help. I didn't mind him yelling for Robin's help. But I wish it was like him on the run, like kind of, think about like when he was running from the Okama and stuff. He's running away from him, Black Marine's chasing him, leads into Robin instead. It bummed me out so bad to see him in such a bad state. Let's see. And like really, the only thing with Gray, it's like Gray hasn't gotten an upgraded form, but Gray's gotten tons of solid character stuff in 100 Years Quest. All this stuff with his progress with Juvia, his relationship with Juvia. We know now, like, the only thing keeping him from Juvia and actually being together. Like, he's had a lot of good character content in 100 Years Quest. A lot of really good character content. The only thing is he hasn't gotten any, like, he didn't get a power-up form in Drasil, and, like, he got in a bad spot when it came to Scullion.
But like Gray's gonna get good spots in the future. Mishima likes Gray. Mishima doesn't put Gray in a bad spot like Sanji, where Sanji's like, what is he, like in his 20s? He's like really powerful, but he's still like he's worse with women now. Like he's worse. He somehow he manages to like run into some of those girls. Like was it Viola, where he his cool chivalrousness can still hold sometimes, but like he simps too much. And I feel like that's just never gonna work out for him. He needs to find one girl and simp for the one girl, and at least then it will direct enough of his attention to one body instead of like, what is he gonna keep simping for every random chick that goes by, but then try and like hook up with like one specific one? Because then it's like the other ones are gonna say like, well, you're simping over all these other girls, so why bother? Let's see. Yeah, Gray's not. First off, Gray's not even down bad. Like Gray's gonna get as upgraded magic soon. We know all of them by default have upgraded magic in Ellen tier, and Gray does not have a comment like Sanji's about not wanting to hurt a woman's hands, so he's not gonna end up using it. So Gray's good. Don't compare Gray to Sanji. Gray didn't want to punch a cat. That's not the same as plus a cat that's his friend. Like the thing is, Happy and Carla are his friends. Just because they're cats, like, they still look at the Exceed, obviously, as people. They're intelligent, they communicate, they talk and stuff. Black Maria is an enemy. Like, they're in a war. This is somebody who is one of the upper subordinates of the guy they're there to kill. Like, Sanji's is way worse. I have a weird prediction. Alderaan comes back. I actually kind of kills Gildarts. Gildarts is absolutely the character like out of the guild. Like if you wanted to kill somebody off and have a lot of impact, it'd be Gildarts. Like Alderaan coming back and doing it'd be really interesting. But I'm still really like, I wouldn't even say I'm on the fence. I'm up for Alderaan coming back as long as he does stuff. You know, it's not like he just comes back to come back or comes back to die again, or he stays dead. It really just depends on like the execution of it. But like, because I liked Alderaan. I wish we got that flashback of him going to try and fight Acnologia though, real bad. It would have been funny. Rax is so wholesome. I want to donate like $500 if I could. You don't gotta go crazy. Kid Mono likes to go crazy super chats, and I always feel bad because like a $500 super chat is like something you should give like somebody like actually like entertaining. I think I'm more of just like background noise. I don't know. I think my friendliness is probably like my only good trait, but and I'm good at talking. Well, it's not like I'm full of a lot of words of wisdom. I know a lot about Fairy Tail, but I mean that's for the most part. And any donations, like I said, though, I've always said, Gene, are much appreciated. I always appreciate anything that you guys give me. Here's the $2 from Kinmono. Though I still disagree. I know Cap. Current Sage Mode Naruto or Pain Arc? Wait, what? Current Sage Mode Naruto or Pain Arc? Oh, that's not at me. I was like, what? What are you talking about? First off, Shock Slop. Gray's gotten way better character moments. Like, we actually have the last step between him and Julia, like, actually getting together. This is somebody that, when he first met, he was an enemy, and he was annoyed with, like, how clingy she was, and we've seen, like, it slowly progress into an actual relationship. And then the events, obviously, with Invul, that made it so, like, he feels like he has to be strong enough to protect her, to be with her. Whereas, like, Sanji just got beat up, and was so concerned with this woman who's an enemy of, like, she is a simp of the guy they're there to kill, and she's beating the shit out of him. And he doesn't even defend himself, because he doesn't want to hurt her hands. And I was like, man. Sad stuff. Let's see, I'm scrolling down. There's just some calling other characters, whatever characters. Just going past the Asta. I don't know what Asta's talking about. I'm only based on here, clearly. I don't know what you're talking about. Rax, the fuck? What'd I do? Pino's so is too cute. I do like Pino. I did answer you, Faith. I just get really... I always get behind on the chat because I end up going on rants and stuff, or I just ramble on, but I'm catching up. Your cat will eat your turkey. I hope not. I'll give them, like, if they're good, I'll give them, like, a small piece. I already read this. Justice for RTL. I read that. Small characters, Chopper, Wendy. Man, don't be disrespecting Gray like that. Sanji legitimately has not been doing well. So he's saying Chopper, but Gray is just like Gray went up with Natsu. Like, keep in mind, Natsu also had a bad time with Hakune.
and against Scullion, who caught Gray in some hacks. Like, Gray had some hacks, but, like, Scullion's was unfair, and on top of that, Scullion is clearly very powerful. But, like, Scullion also countered Gray. Like, he could just turn his ice into ash. So unless Gray is able to figure out a counter to that, or is able to power up so much that Scullion can't really fight back, it's like, what is he going to do? My cat is omnipotent. Tartaros? Yeah, he's a weird cat. My other cat is starting to copy him, because Tartaros, when he wants my attention, will come in, like, he slow bites, but, like, only with the front of his teeth. And now my other cat's starting to do that to get attention. He's really weird. And then my other cat, Karazhan, she is unfortunately taking that trait. Let's see. I already read that. Some's poggers, I agree. Why did you buy... Oh, crap. I was about to read that about the turkey, because I was actually thinking about that when I went downstairs. As I was like, I wonder if they're going to ask me why the hell I bought a turkey. But, like, I just saw that, so let me see this. I don't think we are going to get someone else. We might, yeah, we'll just reschedule. Because, like, I want to have we gotta have at least, like, 3. Maybe get, like, Quan or something. But other than that, like, could probably set it up. Just because, like, if we had it set up beforehand, I would probably be cool with it. But, like, we don't have it all the way, like, if we're gonna do it on my channel, I don't have any of this stuff I don't have any of this stuff required for the stream, like, setup, so, like, I you know, it'd just be, like, a long wait, and moving from stream to stream, I would like it to be in very quick succession, so the people in the stream can just, you know, click over that, instead of, like, say, hey, wait, like, a half hour or something, and then it's like, well, they're gonna, you know, so a lot of them are gonna lose interest, they're gonna find something else to do, or, you know, they might not get the notification, or who knows what. Let me see. I'm scrolling up. I actually wanted to answer that turkey question. Shit, dude, I am behind. A lot more than I thought. I'm gonna try and rapid fire through some of these. Let me see. Where's the turkey? Why did I buy a turkey? Oh, I just wanted to try and figure out how to make stuff. Like, I bought a duck not too long ago, and I roasted that, but, like, the turkey was too big for my Dutch oven. But also at the same time, like, I bought a turkey, but, like, I'm going to be able to just use the turkey meat and then just have that for food, like, for sandwiches or, like, easy snacks. I'm trying also to, like, not really eat dinner and instead to have larger breakfasts and then kind of, like, a fairly sized lunch. Because I knew that you're not supposed to have dinner as your biggest meal, but I saw that, like, usually people burn, like, twice as many calories when they eat a large breakfast rather than dinner. So it just is an easy health choice switch. My plans have been to live slightly healthier, but not enough that I have to really do a whole lot. Like, it's funny because, like, I had this conversation so many times since I started doing this. Like, I remember it was back in, like, 2000. I'm just going to do this real quick. It was a couple years ago. And I was like, they said, what are you going to do for New Year's? And I said, oh, I'm just going to try and eat a little healthier. And someone's like, oh, everyone says they're going to be healthy now. And I was like, no, healthier. All I have to do is be slightly more healthy than I was last year, and I complete the goal. As long as I don't end up being more unhealthy, then I win. I don't have to eat and be healthy. I just have to be healthier. All hail Tardos. Yeah, he's a good cat. Peanut's one of my favorite powers. Oh, her EMP. It is useful. Exactly. Gray and Sanji would be the weakest respects. No, they're not. Gray is easily tied with Urza right now. Like, just from general, like, feats that he's done. Like some of the stuff that he did in Alvarez, like, the thing is, like, we just haven't gotten anything really power upgrade-wise from Gray in 100 Years Quest. That's the only reason people think that. Like, keep in mind, Gray was keeping up with Ethereus Natsu. For a while, he was, like, an actual, like, sealing threat to Xerath. Like, he would have been able to seal Xerath for who knows how long, but, like, something that Xerath wouldn't be able to just instantly neg was impressive. Plus, he's got a hundreds of times multiplier on top of a Hack's sealing spell. Wait, what? That surprised me because you live fantasy stuff and powerless. I don't know what that was. Oh, love them. I wish I knew what the context of that. Rack Street, so lovely. I'll get to it eventually. Tartarus personally is my favorite. Dude, you're crazy. Tartarus is such a great arc. Tartarus is my favorite fairy tale arc. Completed. We'll see how 100 Years Quest is by the end. I like Selene. I've already really liked. I've liked a lot of the stuff prior. I've very much been enjoying Selene. Ignia. Oh, Ignia's got. I got a lot of expectations for him. Glad Chopper's getting his overdue time to shine. Yeah, 100%. And Wendy, ever since Alvarez, has been getting a ton of spotlight. Wendy, since Tartarus, has been getting a ton of spotlight.
I mean, it doesn't have to be Thanksgiving eat turkey. Yeah, but just obviously the most time you're gonna get a full turkey. I didn't get like a slice of turkey. I got a full turkey. Is Urza stronger than Gray? Urza and Gray, I think, are like tied right now. I would guess. Like if I just say top 5 in the guild, Gildarts, Laxus, Natsu, and I'm talking about like in general. If you consider Dragon Force, like once Natsu enters Dragon Force, I think he's the strongest in the guild. I'd say Dragon Force Natsu is stronger than Gildarts. Maybe Gildarts will prove me wrong when he comes back. Who knows? But then like 4 and 5, I would say is either Gray or Urza. I think right now they're interchangeable. If I had to pick one, I would go Gray, just because like I know Gray's gonna pop off whenever he gets his new abilities. He hasn't just gotten the opportunity yet. And like Gray fought Metro, and Metro didn't have any hacks, so like they just had to overcome. They just literally like when they fought Metro, all they had to do was get a good shot on him. All they had to do was get in a good spot and attack him and hit him with like just a general big attack. They didn't have to give him any hacks or crazy abilities or anything. You're not like freaking Jalal, who just shows that not only is he fully immune to time-based abilities, but he can put debuffs onto thought projections. Let's see. Dragon Slayer Gray, so cool. No, he's Demon Slayer Gray. Double Slayer. Thank you, chat. Hey, chat, would you rather a Jedi or Soul Reaper? Soul Reaper's so much better. You get a personal power with the Zanpakuto, and you have all the Keto, and you live longer, and you can fly. Like, a Jedi is cool, but, like, Soul Reaper is just better. I'm just scrolling these because this is... Oh, I just noticed, Faith was doing he was taking over the chat, keeping people entertained while I was waiting for the question. Thank you very much, Faith. Appreciate it. Aries and big sister of Nanny for Nashi. That'd be nice, actually. I think that, like, a lot of Lucy's spirits will be really nice interacting with the kids, but, like, definitely Aries would be really, really enjoyable to see, because she just is a very nice person. She seems very gentle, just very friendly. Whereas, like, Aquarius will be weird, but I feel like Aquarius will be a little bit nicer than, like, than how she was with, like, Kid Lucy. But I don't know. I feel like Natsu's kid, like, Earthlight Natsu's kid is going to have a different personality than Edalus Natsu's kid. Because the difference is, Edalus, Nasha, you know, would take after her parents, but, like, think of like, a little girl influenced by Natsu, where, like, she's going to brawl. Like, she would probably want to fight Aquarius. Let's see. Bankai enough. Yeah, Bankai would be cool. So that's the thing is, like, mastering and getting to Bankai, you know, like, mastering it takes like 10 years, and then getting to it takes however many decades. But it's like you just get a longer life in general, so it's not that long. Because, like, for Byakuya, it looked like 112 years from Turn Back the Pendulum? It looks like he maybe aged 10 years or something. So, like, if you just take a 0 away and, like, 10 years turns into 1 year... easy to master, like, a 6 super ability that's, like, the ultimate power of your soul and stuff. Like to be in a wrong card. Wrong card would be cool, too. If I had to pick between Soul Reaper and a wrong card, though, I would pick a wrong card. Just because I like Resurrections better. I wish I could pick Visor. Visor is always my favorite class for Bleach. But unfortunately, like, they never got, like, their time to... They didn't get a lot of spotlight, essentially. Like, it made me really sad, because they were my favorites in there. Yeah, use the Rainbow Fire, check the wiki. I did. Like, obviously I gotta scroll past that. I completely forgot about that in, that little additional scene in the Tartarus arc for the anime. Sanji and all the females. Poor Sanji. Got my new laptop, can hold me down. That's good, though. When we're getting the stimulus soon, thumbs up for everybody getting the stimulus coming up. Out of the team and the Straw Hats, who would get along? I mean, most of them would get along. Like, a lot of... I would imagine most shonen main character groups would get along. Are the Dragon Gods confirmed stronger in Acnologia? No. Well, so, like, there was some wording on it in there, but Mishima said that Acnologia was the strongest himself. Like, Mishima said that the strongest person in there was Acnologia. Because they could be equal to him in level, 1v1, but they don't have the general advantages Acnologia has from just being a Dragon Slayer of magic. Acnologia stops. And, yeah, obviously I'm not talking about the space between time one, though, Jason. Guillotine, oh, it's not at me. That's not at me. Oh, sweet. There's a bunch of stuff not at me, so I can zoop past these guys. Next, have you talked about My Hero? If not, what do you think of the last 2 chapters? I think they're interesting. I don't know, like, how I really feel about Deku wanting to do anything to help Shigaraki. Like, if this was Shigaraki before,
like the events that just went down, that'd be different. But like Shigaraki's a mass murderer, and he just drove the city into chaos, and he's caused a lot of problems that it's like I don't really think he's beyond redemption essentially, and I don't really like that Deku would want to help him at this point in time. Like in the core concept of like Deku wanting to help people, even like some bad guys, sure, but like Shigaraki is way too far gone. Like Shigaraki should be. I don't really see Shigaraki, like, as a savable person. Plus, he's insane. Like, what would you really do with him? He would get, like, even if he, like, if somehow Deku convinced him to, like, stop and, like, defeated him and, like, you know, quote-unquote saved him, it's like he would just be in a cell for the rest of his life. He's not going to want that, so he's not going to do that. You'd have people tell you that Homura has blue hair. Yeah, the people, they've been reaching. I saw some people saying that Wise is just discount Laxus, and I'm like, I don't know who at any point has seen Wise and thought Laxus. Like, the only similarity is that they're blonde. Like, they don't even have the same hairstyle. They don't look similar. Laxus is, like, 6'5" and jacked. Like, Wise is maybe, like, upper, like, 5'10", 5'11", maybe 6 foot. He looks like he's a fairly sized height, but he doesn't look big. Whereas, like, Laxus is huge. Laxus is big compared to Elfman. Like, well, not big compared to Elfman. He's big, like, even, like, close to someone like Elfman. And Elfman is gigantic. Let's see. Oh, my food's almost done. Once I get caught up, I'll probably, like, call the stream good. So we got a little bit left. Obviously, thank you, obviously, to everybody that know we got donations from Kenmano, as well as RTL Faith. Appreciate you guys, of course. Yeah, people just talking about, like, the characters that would get along. I think most of them would get along. I don't think many of them would really dislike each other. Maybe, like, I don't know, because I was going to say Gray and Zoro, but I feel like Gray and Zoro are both in that kind of super chill status that they wouldn't really butt heads, because they wouldn't get in really many heated areas where it would happen. Whereas, like, if they ended up getting in that, they would probably start beefing. But, like, I feel like that would be the case for a lot of them. I don't know, I think most of them would get along. I can't really think of any that would get that annoyed. I don't know. I'd have to really think about, like, personal 1v1 interactions, but I think most of them would be cool with each other. Let's see. An anime is known for being hypocritical. I remember a time when Fairy Tail out of nowhere, they start hating it, probably because he didn't want to look bad on normies. So yeah, there's a lot of people that will do it just for clout, and it's really annoying. Brooke and Gajo singing together. Yeah, see those two, they'd be perfect hanging out. There's a lot, like, Gene, it's the same thing with, like, Black Clover. There's a lot of people that would just do it for clout, and then just because, like, Fairy Tail fans have been starting to, like, hit back as, like, the last, that's, like, year or so. Same thing with Black Clover, and I'm glad that Eden Zero fans are starting to smack back at people being annoying and stupid, too. Because when you let, like, people slander for clout, like, keep going, it just becomes a thing. It becomes popular. It becomes a thing to do. Like, again, Black Clover. People have been doing that Black Clover. I mean, a lot of people here know what the goofy takes for Black Clover are. Like, anyone that say, like, oh, that's why you're referring to Gigo. I don't like that guy. I remember when it was, like, Black Clover came out, and he was, like, I watched some of his videos, and he, like, that was, like, a point where he slandered both Fairy Tail and Black Clover, like, within the same, like, minute, and I was like, I don't want to watch this guy's videos. Fuck this dude. Only Nux likes Fairy Tail. Nux Taku? I watched, like, a video of his. Is any big YouTubers like Fairy Tail? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of YouTube people. Super Mecha Frieza likes Fairy Tail. She's got like 300,000 subs. I think she's the only one that I think she's the only big person on YouTube in the, like, the anime community I watch. Like, I like some of her videos, but, like, other than that, like, most of the anime YouTube people I interact with are, like, the guys that I do, you know, normal content with, like the people from Josuke's podcast. You know, you got people like, you know, Josuke, Quan, RTL Faith, Sammy, freaking Bro. I think actually Broku and J Cloud, because I gotta count them because they both have some pretty big channels. So they're probably, like, the only other bigger YouTubers in the anime community that I interact with. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. I'm jumping past a bunch of stuff because luckily a lot of the stuff I already answered. Yeah, Faith knows. Gray's awesome. People just give him a bad time because he hasn't gotten any upgrades to his powers yet since 100 Years Quest. Like, but he's been spending more time on doing stuff and getting his character all built up with Juvia. He's been doing great on that. Sanji versus Loki. Sanji should beat Loki just fine. Like, Loki's not that strong. King of Lightning Chibi review 2 reviews? I don't know anything about Chibi, but I don't really seem like King of Lightnings was annoying. I haven't watched much of his stuff regarding Fairy Tail. I just remember his one on Sting, and what annoyed me the most is like he didn't get Sting's character arc at all. He didn't get anything about like why he like if somebody slanders Sting and the reason is like why he surrendered and they have no reason why he surrendered, that's dumb. Like in just general concept, not even about Fairy Tail. If you slander a character on a decision they make, but you don't even understand why they did it, you're stupid. Because you're just doing it at that point for clout. And that's, again, it's not even a Fairy Tail. If you just said something like that in general, it'd be dumb. It'd be like if you said like, oh, Nacht being the vice captain of the Black Bulls and hating Yami is stupid. Doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, well, do you care about context? Do you care about the reason why? Or would you just be dumb? You know, it's one of those really annoying things that, like, I've had to see a lot. Just because, you know, again, same thing for Black Clover people. I'm sure they've had to come across people who slander and say dumb stuff that if they actually read the series or watched the series or even knew what they were talking about, they wouldn't have that take, because the take is just objectively wrong on so many levels. Not even like, oh, you know, I personally didn't like, you know, this scene or that scene. It's like, no, what you just said doesn't make sense. A tiny tree dragon. I would hope it'd be like a little seedling dragon. Like if Alderaan came back. King of Lightning is cringe. Yeah, I haven't liked this stuff. I remember he came back just to talk of, like, shit about Irene. But it's like, because he stopped reviewing Fairy Tail, and then he came back with when Irene killed herself. But it's like, again, he didn't care at all about context. He just wanted to trash the series for numbers, for views, for his channel. And it was dumb. Sanji has more development recently. Sanji's had some development, but Sanji hasn't had more development than Gray. I don't believe that at all. But Sanji just keeps staying down bad. No. Sanji's L's are sad L's. If Sanji's loss was, oh, he went up against a really strong opponent who had a really unfair power, sure. Not, I don't want to hurt your fist because you're a pretty girl. I mean, dude, she's an enemy. She's looking to kill you. These are literally underlings of somebody who you showed up to kill. And I'm just like, Gray has 0 points that are that bad, that are simp set. If Gray, like, say if it was Robin that was being mind controlled or something, and Sanji didn't want to hurt her, or like didn't want to do anything to damage her, or like if it was Nami or something, that's different, because it's at least somebody that he knows and he doesn't want to hurt. But it's like Black Maria is an enemy. She is an outright enemy, and it's not like, oh, there's somebody on a different crew. It's like, no, these are enemies in a war. Oh, Naruto post-Baryon versus Luffy. Naruto should still sweep just fine. Rax ended series 7 Sins versus current Black Bulls. I want to wait until we see more of Union Modasta, because I actually really want to know about Union Modasta in there. Remember, is another Fairy Tail. He's another one I've never been fond of. But I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but it's like, I don't really know, because I haven't watched a lot of stuff. He only came... But when he came back to say things about 100 Years Quest, that gives me a sign that he might have been one of those guys as well that only slandered because it was popular. Same thing with Black Clover. Once Black Clover started becoming more popular, and it, like, you had the Black Clover manga people, like, they liked the anime, and the people started to, when people, like, the anime came out, it was popular to slander it. A lot of the Black Clover slander didn't happen until the anime came out. Like, Black Clover wasn't really messed with much when it was just a manga. But when the anime came out, it's when it became slandering it became like a regular thing. And then when it started to get really popular, a lot of the YouTube people and a lot of like the guys who have like kind of, you know, quote unquote influence in like the anime Twitter YouTuber kind of style community, they stopped. And a bunch of them started liking it. So it's like there's either those that liked it that were just slandering it for, you know, to go with the flow for the clout, or there are people that literally will just say whatever that gets them the views, and I think that's really annoying. I don't give myself enough credit. I don't know. I don't really think I'm very special. I'm surprised I even have as many subscribers as I do. What am I at right now? Like 4,000. I got like a little over 4,100. I'm surprised. I'm legitimately surprised I even have those numbers. Like I remember when I first started getting a couple and I had like 30, and I was like, yes, 30 people like my content. Now I'm at, you know, in the thousands. Very surprising. Like what's weird is like if I ever got like there's a reasonable like time period, like if I got to like 10K or something. That's because I don't have like a point where like my subscriber counts are dead, but I don't get like a lot. I only get like 100 something like subscribers a month. Like I don't have one of those ones that's like jacked rising. I have like a very steady uprise. So it's like, yeah, I could easily reach some of these other numbers eventually, but it's just like, but well, like even if I got there, I'd be surprised. Even if I got there, I'd be surprised. Even after saying that, it's like, yeah, logically with an like a continuous uprise, I'll get there. But at the same time, if I got there, I'd be like, wow, I never thought this would happen. You're watching the episode of Attack on Titan? Oh, you're watching an episode of Attack on Titan. There's what, like 2 episodes left, I think? Once Attack on Titan's anime is over, I'll probably watch it. I haven't watched much of the anime. I just read the manga. There's a manga of the year from a certain YouTube channel and 2 people who read in zero. Wait, manga of the year? I don't know what you mean, though, Michael Belong. I read Samurai 8, shame it was rushed. It's not that it was rushed, is it started out so slow, and then it got so fast in content, and it just kept throwing stuff at you. I don't really know what happened with that. It was a really weird train wreck to watch. Let me see, I'm going to scroll past. How far am I? Oh, I'm not that far behind, I don't think. Stupidest anime character moment? I mean, Goku probably giving Moro a Zenzu beam. Legitimately. I think that's definitely one of the worst ones. Natsu versus the Dark Tribe. Natsu would kick the shit out of the Dark Tribe. Are you serious? Like, Natsu would body the living hell out of him. Like, the thing is, like, when I was thinking about, like, Natsu, like, in general, like, terms of gravity, like, dealing with gravity, because obviously, like, one of the big things about Dante, just even fight him in general, is you have to be strong enough to fight under his gravity, or you have to have a way to counter his gravity. But, like, Natsu, even in Sirius Island, was able to get up under increased gravity. When Natsu came back after, like, at the beginning of Alvarez, when they, like, went against Blue Note, he didn't even notice he was under the guy's gravity. The same gravity that was, like, holding him down, like, a long time ago. Like, he didn't even notice it. Didn't even notice. And, like, when it comes to, like, comparing Dante and Blue Note, Dante's definitely beating Blue Note. Like, his singularity is way more flexible. Like, he can throw it, he can move while doing it, whereas Blue Note has to be stationary. And then, you know, body magic, clearly, like, he's pretty much immortal. So, like, if you can't cancel out his body magic, you can't really do a whole lot to Dante. Whereas, like, Blue Note has more range, and I personally think Blue Note's general pressure of gravity is stronger, just from, like, some of the stuff he did when he just straight crushed all that rock under them, like, just straight flattened it. It's not like he lifted it up or he split it. He straight crushed it and condensed it all below him. And, like, that, like, standing under all that, like, Natsu didn't even, like, he wasn't even phased. And that's base Natsu. Casual base Natsu. Like, not even serious. And he did a one roar and took Blue Note out. Let's see, what did Guillotine say? Dante thrashes Tartarus versions of Natsu and Gray. Tartarus, Natsu, and Gray? No. Them at the same time when you have Devil Slayer Gray? No. If you said Tartarus Natsu, you have a, you know, more of a fight, because Natsu should be fine against him in a lot of areas. Like, Natsu wouldn't be able to really deal with singularity outside of dodge it, but, like, the increased gravity Natsu should be fine with. Natsu can still burn magic, so Natsu's still a threat. But, like, it's not as close. Like, the gap, though, between, like, Tartarus Natsu and Alvarez Natsu is huge. But, like, Gray's level of potency of Devil's Slaying could fuck with Mark Gear. And his level of counteracting the demon abilities and curses and stuff was enough that he could counteract Memento Mori. A conceptual erasure attack is broken. Natsu versus Yami. Again, like, not, like, the problem is, like, Natsu is, like, he's similar to Asta in a sense, like, he is a wizard. Well, he is an anti-wizard, but Natsu's also a wizard. Like, Natsu can burn magic, he's a close combat fighter, he's durable as hell, he can hit hard, he's fast, he's quick on his feet. Like, and if you put him against Yami, he's melting Yami's sword. Like, he's just literally going up the Yami. Yami goes for a swing, the blade's gone. Not like Metal can't even regularly touch Natsu anymore. Like Yeoman tried to put Natsu in an Iron Maiden, it melted around him. Throwing knife from Jacob, thrown at Natsu, didn't even penetrate his skin, melted just from body heat, not even fire, just body heat alone. And then you have burning magic. You have like the fact that he is a combat wizard. I actually would have to look into the ratios. There's way more combat wizards in Fairy Tail than there are Black Clover. You don't have a lot of combat wizards in Black Clover in general. So, like, if you were a character Black Clover and you faced somebody like Marileona or even Randall or somebody, it would throw you off your game instantly just because you wouldn't be used to somebody, you know, fighting up in your face like that. And, like, that's like all Natsu's about. Let's see. I'm about caught up. You can watch a whole stream of my rants. I mean, that's what all my streams are, though. It's just me ranting. I see some other of these matches. I had to skim past just because like I don't want to sit forever. Oh wow, I actually wasn't that far off. So let me scroll back down. Something about Guild Arts, Red Lightning, Laxarus, Guild Arts. I'd still go Guild Arts. Like I said, Guild Arts I think is still the strongest of the guild. If you discount Dragon Force Natsu. If you don't count Dragon Force Natsu, I'd still put Guild Arts at the top. But I outright, I'd say Guild Arts is still stronger than Laxus. I don't think Laxus surpassed him yet. Like if Guild Arts dies and we get like Laxus, Laxus could has a chance to get more powerful than him over some time. But like I don't really think he is right now. Natsu burns their hacks to surpass him. Yeah, like Natsu can burn he would just burn the body magic. He could walk under the gravity just fine. He burns singularity. Like, he burnt... The funny thing is, in the anime, they had Blue Note use his black hole, and Natsu just burnt right through it. And you could... Like, if you wanted to argue, it's like, oh, it's an anime thing, that you can't use it. But, like, Mishima, like, oversaw the anime, so, like, it had additional stuff put in there. So, you know, similar to, like, what Tabata did with the anime, you'd count that as canon. But even if you, like, tried to argue that out, a weakened pre-time skip, like, or the part 1, Guild Arts broke the black hole. And obviously, that character would be fodder to current Natsu. So, like, feats that he could do, you know, if he can break the black hole magic, Natsu, at that level, should have zero problem burning it even in theory. So if you take the fact that he should be able to do it in theory, plus the fact that it was added in the anime where Mishima oversaw it, yeah, the singularity's gone. It's getting burnt. Like, Natsu wouldn't even mid-diff. Natsu legitimately could beat them all in base. And I'm serious. It's like, Natsu is ridiculous. Like, when you compare, like, what he's capable of to a lot of other... Like, especially with, like, the Black Clover, but, like, a lot of other, like, main shonen characters, like, Natsu is really powerful, and, like, the fact that he has both he's got, like, solid stamina, he's got dangerous, like, power-burning magic, he has freaking, like, internal burning, he has a pathway to achieve conceptual destruction. He has a way that he was able to burn something that was infinite to zero and burn time itself. Like, he's broken. What's up, Shmoodle? How's it going? Luckily, I got a little bit left. I always feel bad when I'm getting closer to the end of streams and people just pop up. Just 'cause it's like, damn, they're only showing up for a little bit. What's up, though, Shmoodle? How are you doing today? Oh, that's the villain version of me, apparently. Also, who is not me. Wait, what? If you say that Xeno has more mana than Natsu has, either now Natsu kind of gets negative. Yeah, right. Natsu would... You put Natsu against Xenon. Xenon tries to do some bones. Natsu burns him. Natsu goes literally straight at him. Xenon would put up a bone shield. Natsu goes straight through him. And then literally just comes up and bodies him. Like, even in the idea Xenon tries to trap him in spatial stuff, Natsu breaks out like he did with Genesis Zero. Twice. Is there a Diablo's Guild guy around when he does? I actually kind of hope there's going to be, like, some, like, younger, like, antagonist to Wendy. I've thought about it, too. I think that'd be really cool. Just give Wendy, like, a rival like that. A Time Dragon Slayer. That's what Akin Loki became. When he ate the space between time, he said he acquired time-space magic. He essentially was a time-space dragon. A gravity dragon would be cool, but, like, we already had Blue Note, and I would rather get, like, weirder stuff. Like I said, radiation or plasma would be really cool to get as a Dragon Slayer. I want to see what Ella Sarias would do, because he calls himself the Dragon of Law, so is he a Law Dragon Slayer? How does that work?
Lucas Scalcon kind of already had that. I don't know who that is. Like the guy who made a TikTok video comparing Black Clover to Naruto. Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the things I've constantly said, but it's very true. Like, Fairy Tail, and then now Eden Zero and Black Clover, they have the laziest haters. Like, they put the least amount of effort into wanting to slander something. They don't come up with anything funny. They don't like look for like little quips and like funny edits or memes and stuff. It's usually the same things every time that's like easily debunked, but they don't listen, and then eventually you either get them to shut up or they give up, and then somebody else just says the same thing, and you're just continuously having the same argument. That's why a lot of these motherfuckers are annoying. As for Happy, who do you think would end up with Carla or Toka? I personally think Carla, because I'm very curious as to what Ferris and Toka's fates are going to be by the end of this, because, like, will they stay in Earthland, or are they going to, like, you know, be like, yeah, we're from Elentier, we're probably going to stay in Elentier, or are they going to go back to the guild? That's one of the big questions I have right now. I mean, it's weird because it's not, like, it's not a big story question, it's more of, like, just these personal characters and where they're going to go, but I want to know where that, in general, is really going to progress. Hypothetical adult Natsu versus all Black Clover. Natsu right now can body all of Black Clover. Like, he can burn all their magic, he's rushing in, he's bodying the living shit out of all these guys. He can literally one-shot, like, he's just one-shotting people. I mean, like, even if you say, like, if you ever put Prime Julius, Natsu burns his time magic, get Natsu in Chrono Stasis, not working. Natsu was fine in full time stop, so like, Julius wouldn't do shit. Toka has a crush on Happy. That's true, though, but, like, Carla, could easily, like, eventually turn for Happy, but, like, it all depends on, like, where Ferris and Toka are by the end of this arc. Natsu can do all the hacks. Like, he's dealt with most of the big hacks already. He can burn magic. What are they going to do? Like, they throw a spell at him, he burns it. Mitsuki versus Boruto? I don't know, like, I can't... Oh, is Mitsuki the snake guy? I don't really remember anything about him, like, what he could do. I just remember he's got that Sage mode. Not Sanji could activate his Haku's records that he couldn't. He said it was getting softer. Then it's activating subconsciously. Yes, he's subconsciously that much of a simp that he is letting this chick punch him. He's literally a simp to a core level that he can't control his Haki. He can't even use a power if he wanted to because his brain won't let him because he's hardwired as a simp. He could even be like Escanor as a simp, or at least he was really cool. Sanji used to be cool. He's been blah since then. Natsu had so much magic, he got cancer and needed Brandish to cure him of his tumor. I mean, it didn't actually turn out to be that. It was the Demon Seed. The anime is not canon, it's just an adaptation. So that Mishima oversaw and added stuff. So it's added by the creator with the intent of being canon and additional stuff into the story. So, like I said, even if you wanted to not say that, like, Natsu should be able to do it just fine, because somebody like Gildarts was able to do it, and, like, a weakened, still recovering, hiccup there, still recovering from his injuries, Gildarts from Sirius Island is absolute fodder to Natsu. Natsu should have zero problem with Blue Note, even if he pulled out as a black hole. Like, he had no problem with him. What would Black Hole do? I mean, Natsu was burning hacks from Zeref, if you remember. I mean, come on. Let's see. God Serena's the dirty, just like... Oh, God Serena... No, I mean, God Serena, unfortunately, didn't get, like, the spotlight. I wish he did, but it's like... That's what happens when you try and bat at levels way too high for you. Like, legitimately, like, if Natsu versus Gildarts was a serious battle, and not, like, you know, didn't have the, you know, the point of the story that it was, and it's just, like, all-out Natsu versus Gildarts, that's how it went. Like, you should know how to bat at people, like, at your level, and not, like, tiers above you. Tiers and tiers above you. Keep in mind, like, the Spriggan 12 were not really anything to Zeref. Because, like, Irene and August were the strongest by a lot. Irene, in her dragon form, acknowledged that Zeref was a genius with magic. Something she couldn't do for hundreds of years was nothing to him. He literally just walked up, changed her form. And Natsu was able to burn spells from Zeref. So what would Blue Note or frickin' any of these guys do to him? And then with God Serena, like, God Serena is clearly way below
Zareth, and acting like he's above Zareth. So it's like, God Serenity, you're a fool for doing what you did. Monica is scaled to multi-combat. No, she's not. I've seen the calculation. It's like assuming that her explosions are plasma, and then like they don't even do like the size of the explosions, right? She's not that level. That's silly. Let's see. Rax, how come you do chapter reviews on Sokyo no Ariane? I should. I'm a couple chapters behind. I get caught up, but actually I might start doing that. I like the manga. I really do. Us versus Dai. Isn't Dai the Dragon Quest main character? I haven't read it. Or watched the Dragon Quest series, rather. Sanji got over his not hitting a girl stuff, then he'd be winning a lot by now. Thing is, like, he doesn't have to hit her. Like I said, he could have just ran and led her to Robin or something. He literally just, like, if he just didn't stand there and get beat like that and just be a simp while it happened, I wouldn't mind. Definitely am not capping Kenmano. Rax, have you ever, have you ever been scared to accidentally leak your face? I don't, the scared dude? I just like the anonymity of it. Whatever the correct term is. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get that turkey out of the oven, and then we'll read the rest of the comments and start getting near the end. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Just pulled that out of the pot out of the oven. So finish up here, and then I'll go make some gravy. Let's see. Where was I? Definitely not, like I said, definitely not Captain though, Kenmano. Crazy. I should do Sokyo no Ariane videos. I did one at one point. I think it was just on the video, on the series itself, but I do want to start doing reviews on it. I like the series. I wish I was doing it a couple chapters ago, like far enough back where what is his name, Gladius? When he showed up, dude, that guy's badass. I really like that guy. When he was like, man, I'm getting a little old, and then he's like, he saw I can't remember his name, the one of the Al Mirage dudes, and he just jumped right to him, and then he just looked at me. He's like, I like how you look, dude. And then he just grabs him and slams him in the ground. Dude, that was so badass. I really like that guy. I hope he shows up again, like, in the story. He definitely will. Unless he ends up dying, I would assume that he's going to be a returning character. Favorite My Hero moments? I like when Deku beat Muscular. I thought that was really nice. There's the best top 3 ship out of the of those. Oh, are you talking about ships? I do like the Driz ship. Ideas of Natsu leaving for God knows how long this he gives birth without knowing. That'd be really weird. I don't know if I'd be okay with that. Thing is, I do not want Natsu to be one of those anime dads where he's absent, not around. I don't think it would make sense, especially with like how Natsu is. I don't think that Natsu would be is going to be a bad dad. I mean, like, he already had his trial run with Happy, so, and, like, Happy, even if, like, Natsu and him don't get along, like, is not his blood son. Like, it's just kind of, like, he has a similar kind of setup with, like, how Natsu and Ignil were. But it's more of, like, in reality how they are versus, like, how, like, Natsu outright, like, you know, called Ignil his dad and stuff, where it's, like, Happy and Natsu aren't entirely like that, but it's, like, they pretty much are. Whereas, like, once Natsu and Lucy have a kid, I mean, that's gonna be his blood. He's gonna be there. Just keep scrolling. Rax only have Natsu. Natsu is at least, like, high to multi-continental in base. In base. Not even counting his other forms.
Like, Dragon Force is a multiplier of hundreds. And once he gets Aetherius Dragon Force, that's gonna be ridiculous. Like, that thing had to like I've said, it's at least in the... Like, it is at least in the fucking double-digit millions. Based off of, like, what we know with Alderaan. It's ridiculous. That was such a ridiculous multiplier. But at the same time, I mean, it's in there. Salamander, drying up the sea. Again, you can't really use that. It's a description feat from a data book that you don't have a time frame feat for it. You don't have the body of water size. You have no idea the level of salamander that was used. And it wouldn't really make sense. Because, like, what's frickin' Fauna's country level? No, that's ridiculous. Let's see. Rax 1 a.m. stream. Is it 1 a.m. for you, Gene? Jeez. I'm gonna get caught up and call it good. I'm gonna make gravy for my turkey. This is the second time I made turkey. Like, legitimately, the last time that I think about it, I think I've made a turkey was like 10 years ago. I did it in high school for like home ec class. Like, I can't remember exactly how it went down, but for some reason I was the one that got picked to make a turkey, so I had to figure out how to do it at the time. I didn't really do too much. Like, unfortunately, my Dutch oven wasn't big enough just to put it in, so I had to pretty much strip all the meat off, put it in there, and then I shredded up a bunch of onions and garlic, and then, like, chunks of butter and, like, black pepper and garlic salt, put it in there. Lots to be salamander, which is stronger. Wouldn't be surprised if he was continental. He's not, like, the salamander's not continental. We saw feat stuff from it when you're in the Witch's Forest. It's not continental. People are so goofy when it comes to some of the power levels with Black Clover. Can Orga eat Laxus Crimson Lake? No, I don't think so. Well, for one, like, Laxus is so far above Orga, he wouldn't even handle it. He would just get fried. Only thing came from the exact movie backstory. No, so that's not necessarily true. The thing is, like, if the creator does something with intents to, like, put it in the story to either expand upon something, or just they just want to add it to the story, or it's just, like, extra content, that makes it canon. Because the creator is the one who is in charge of it. Like, unless you have something very specific, like, with Yu-Gi-Oh, you have Konami as, like, a more head thing, because, like, Yu-Gi-Oh, like, the original creator only did the original series, where you have different people and the other ones, whereas, like, Konami is the overall controller of it. But, like, Mishima stuff is controlled by Mishima. Like, if Mishima wanted to literally add a whole extra battle or two in an anime arc that wasn't in the manga and say it's canon, then it's canon. And he goes out of his way to make sure that all the stuff he adds in, some stuff like the movies, stuff like the anime-only arcs, makes sense in the story, they do stuff for the story, and they all fit in the timeline. He goes out of his way to do all these things. The country that comes from low balls takes real live seas, not the actual sea near the closer to the kingdom. Closer to the kingdom, gigantic. We have 0 sizes for any of the seas in Black Clover. One thing about the Black Clover countries is they're very small. So I don't really know where they're getting a sea size from that. Like, we've seen the Clover Kingdom is not that big. You can see the border from the capital. And the capital is at the edge. Like, the capital's all the way near the, like, the furthest point from, like, all the closer borders of, like, the other kingdoms and stuff. Rax, do you listen to Game Boy Jones? I've heard of the Cypher dude. I definitely don't know who that... I've never heard of Game Boy Jones. That's a cool name, to be perfectly... I'm not gonna lie. Game Boy Jones is kind of cool. Except you can't get the size of the seas. So far, it's saying it would just be a low ball. It's wrong. But it's too assumption-based off of multiple things. The thing about a heat feat you have to keep in mind is you need a time frame. Because it's heat dispensed over time. Was it instant, or is it like 10 seconds? You have to know. Like, the time frame is super important for, like, an evaporation feat. It's one of the biggest... it's just as important as the size. It's similar to how, like, with a meteor, the size of a meteor and the speed of the meteor are two big things. You can have a small meteor, but it's absurdly fast. Or you can have a big meteor that's just slow, but it's just massive. Or you can have a big, freaking super fast meteor. Think about this. Like, we had meteors, like, the size of, like, a fridge that carried weight of, like, the power of nukes. Because it's extremely fast. You make that, like, even a couple times bigger, it goes up so much exponentially. Second from Okiora versus Devil saying Gray. Gray, easy. the sad thing about Ulquiorra, which makes me like, it bums me out because he died, is like his biggest thing with Lanza de Relampago, is that he couldn't control the aim. And a very big attack, but he had no control over obviously where he sends it, and he never got to the point where it'd be like he can do it on like easily to where like that weakness is taken out, because like it's a really big attack, but it bums me out that like that never got improved upon to where he could just use that in general, because it's like it's almost useless in a lot of fighting scenarios, because like is he gonna throw it and then like if somebody's like 50 feet from him, like I would assume that when he threw it at Ichigo it would be like that explosion, like the burst would be in the direction the arrow's pointing, and not like it hits and that's like where the center point is. I think it'd be like if it hit Ichigo in the chest, the explosion would all, like that giant pillar would all go up behind him, and Ichigo would be like essentially the ground of where it would start, versus like it exploding and then Ulquiorra getting caught up in it, because Ulquiorra gets caught up in it, he gets so fucked up. And then Gray does still scale really well, and he can freeze he can freeze ethereal energies and stuff. He's fast. He's got super versatility with his magic. You would have to start like getting higher up with characters than Ulquiorra. Ulquiorra really hit, like the big thing about Ulquiorra is his Lanza, but his Lanza he can't control the aim, which again is so frustrating. Because like I always really liked Ulquiorra, but he gets screwed over in versus stuff because he can't do that. Actually, the size of the sea, you need to count the size of the kingdom first. But the kingdoms are small, and you don't have a time frame. Listen, Lucas, find me a time frame. Find me a time frame for it. Find a stated time frame. You have to have a time frame for a heat feat, especially. And plus, like he's a point. Aslan Hill's made a good point if it's an outlier, because we know that wouldn't make sense. The people we've seen that can sit around country level attacks are people like Demon God Licht, Lumir, Julius. It would make no sense for Fauna. It's silly. And one of the things that's also goofy is when people think about like, okay, if Salamander's capable of this or did at one point in the past, that doesn't mean like the Salamander we've seen is that level. Well, think about the captain's fight in the anime. Look how big that Salamander got. Like, he was huge. The ones that we've seen regularly, like the ones that Fuego is riding on right now, or the one that Fauna was on, they're tiny. He's not fully grown yet. That's the thing that is like, people need to keep that in mind. What's up, Peter Campbell? How's it going? Rex, who wins, me or you with prep time? Man, careful, man. I'm loaded with prep time. Can you tank bullets? Mary Jane evaporated C2 by scaling, doesn't even use heat magic. That wasn't that big, though. Like, it didn't go that far out. It's bigger in the anime. Like, in the manga, like, I always, like, think about that one, and I go back and look, and it's like, you can see the tide getting evaporated, but it's not like it really goes that far out. But I'm like, you can't really say, like, oh, Mira Jane's wasn't a heat feat. I mean, like, Salamander is a fire spirit, so it's like, yes, that absolutely was a heat feat. Never thought about that argument. I don't know what it is. Demon Lake is gigantic again. Okay, whatever. I stopped reading Fairy Tail years ago. Oh, manga means it's solid. The thing is, like, a lot of people don't pay as much attention. So, like, anytime someone says something about like friendship or something, they'll think things are only ever absolved with that. That's one of the things. Like, when you have, say, like, there's one of the fights where the character is being protected by this magic while she turns the fight around, but like the guy that was using this against her, essentially the magic itself was designated to protect the people in the main guild, in the Fairy Tail Guild. So this dude is literally throwing magic that wasn't his. Like, he had trouble controlling it the first time, tries to go for it again, loses control, and it goes back to protecting her, and that's what screwed him over. It's like, and one of the things about it that people miss all the time is that the fact it's made to protect them, it's made to keep them alive. It gives them divine protection while the tree's up. You have to just take the tree down in order to get rid of that, and that's why they even had the exam on the island, as well as why Azuma went ahead. But also, Eden Zero is coming out, Manga. So I know we were talking about in one of your streams that you missed the Jujutsu Kaisen wave when its anime came out. Eden Zero is going to be good, so I would definitely recommend reviewing that for your channel. As well as, man, I read some of the spoilers for next Build King chapter. Dude, I'm hyped. Let's see. Can you mean the calcs from your evaporate? I already answered that one. I don't agree with that claim either. Love casually destroying seas. They love casually just destroying things. Just big flexes. Lots of crazy acts. People say power of friendship. The thing is, like, a lot of people don't think of, like, context. Like I just explained. Like, they'll just think of, like, oh, someone says something about friends involved. It must have been that. Instead of actually looking into the context of what happened or the reason why. And they just be goofy. Let's see. Sister Leia strong and happy. Funny enough, that's not true. Happy is actually absurdly durable. Happy legitimately has really good durability feats. Oh, 1 a.m. stream? For 1 a.m. for you or 1 a.m. for me? 1 a.m. for me would be weird. I don't know if I would do that. Lucy, Nazi versus Lucy from Alfred Lead? Wait, what? I don't really know what you mean, but like against like the Elephant Lead chick has 0 speed feats. Natsu or Luffy blitzes them, and then Natsu destroys both of them. The Lucy from Alpha Lead has 0 speed feats, Natsu blitzes. Natsu overpowers Luffy in every single stat. He's so unfair. Like, if you try to put them against each other, it wouldn't be fair. Like, Natsu has taken out such bigger opponents and done so much bigger things. Like, Natsu casually went up and one-shot a war god in his base form. Like Luffy's strong, but come on. Like, Luffy got one shot by casual Kaido, whereas, like, Natsu took a roar from Mercephobia, who would destroy Kaido, and Natsu kept fighting. Anyway, I'm seeing a lot of people mostly just argue with each other. Hopefully I can get around this. Best female design, Witch. I definitely like Witch. I don't agree best design. I honestly, if I had to pick best outfit design, I'd probably pick Irene. I really like Irene's whole setup with her sick big hat. Best female character. Oh, cool. I already answered that. I really like Irene's design, but I also really like Celine's design. I've been streaming a little bit longer than I planned. What am I at right now? A little over 2.5 hours. Like, I was planning around 2 hours, but obviously, like, I don't like to at least be caught up with the chat. Could add Mirror Jane instead. Man, Mirror Jane has a lot of fans. Do you think God Slayers will play a part in the future? No. God Slayers are like Mishima's, like, we've made jokes in Black Clover when characters are randomly hyped up at, like, on captain level, they're usually not. Like, the God Slayers are like Mishima's punching bags. Mishima loves to build up a God Slayer to have him get the shit kicked out of him. Let me see. You think Fairy Tail Next Generation should explore Ishgar? Also, there's actually, in the spin-offs, there's a lot of world building. That's one of the things I've always really liked about the spin-offs. Okay, more stuff not at me. By the Cypher, did you mean Rustish? I don't know. I only heard a dude named Game Boy Jones, and I was like, that's just cool as hell. More stuff not at me. More stuff not at me. You guys are just blowing at it in the chat. Yokai Lucy can win a 1v1, but all she, 3 would have to lose. Wait, what? I missed it. Yokai Lucy versus who? The Snake Lucy was actually really strong. Like, Snake Lucy was forced Natsu into Lightning Flame Dragon mode. Magna weaker than Gauche. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, now I was gonna say, like, yeah, but sure, but it's like, yeah, 100%. Like, I like Magna, but Magna is not that powerful. I'm kind of surprised you thought the same thing about Diablos, Kid Ryle for Wendy. I would like it. I don't know if I want to do a video on it just off of the idea, because it's just like, then I'm just doing videos for the ideas. When I do videos, I usually like it to be grounded in something. I don't want to just do, like, a video to do a video, you know? You think Suzak versus Fairy Tail fight is going to happen? Yeah, I'm very curious of just who it's going to be in general. Oh, you have a good night, Gene. I'm trying to catch up. I want to finish this up. We're going longer than I wanted to. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Good 2 hours. Good 2.5 hours, rather, actually. We're getting back to the Saturday streams. I'm gonna try and do the 2 stream next week with Faith. We're gonna do a stream on my channel, and then we're gonna do a bracket tournament bracket stream on, like, villain powers and, like, who's got the coolest ones, a bunch of antagonists, bad guys, and Shonen Jump chapters tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. Anyway, other than that, I'm gonna end the stream. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna go eat my turkey and make some gravy and stuff. Thanks to people who gave super chats, and I